Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We're live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Morning, guys.
Good morning, Jenny. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
How are you, Jenny?
I'm great. How are you?
Just another ho-hum Sunday yesterday. Not much happened, but how about them Cowboys? And how about them Eagles? And how about them Redskins?
And how about Go James?
Who?
Go James.
Who? I don't know who that is.
Don't do that, Skip.
Are they still playing? The NBA's playing?
Skip,
I thought the
real.
NBA was off yesterday.
Is that where we are
It
now?
was the NFL. LeBron was watching the Cowboys
No,
game.
it worked. No.
Oh, I think
he put
he
that
did.
work in.
Oh.
He put that work. I know you had your TV on him.
Is that all you?
You
I
had.
watched it.
You had one
We'll
of those.
talk about that later.
Later.
The only
more
problem
things
I
to
got
get
with
to.
him, he's a Cowboy fan.
You know why he scored 51? He had just watched
Whatever.
the Cowboys.
Whatever.
He had.
Oh, that's
Whatever.
Yeah.
Give me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot to get to on this Monday. Is Skip leading the Lamar Jackson bandwagon? And will Shannon be breaking out some Henny? Because LeBron did have 50. We'll see about that. But let's start with the Cowboys. They got a huge win on the road in Atlanta yesterday. Ezekiel Elliott had a monster game. Over 200 total yards, including a touchdown run in the fourth quarter to put Dallas up by 10. But the Falcons tied it up with under 2 minutes left on a Matt Ryan to Julio Jones touchdown. Dallas got the ball back. Dak Prescott led the way to set up a 42-yard game-winning field goal by Brett Maher. Cowboys are now back to 500 with the Redskins up next on Thanksgiving. Let's take a listen to Zeke and Dak after the game.
Our backs are against the wall, and they're still against the wall. And just the fact this shows the character of this team, of us swinging and fighting and coming out, and the ups and downs in this game, adversity, success, the way we just played through it and stayed together as a team.
I think we're finally hitting a rhythm. I think we're finally hitting a stride, offense and defense, We can't lose this grit. We can't lose the way we're going out there and working every day. We can't lose the way we're going out there and competing on Sundays. We gotta build on that. We gotta get even better so we can hopefully try to get in these playoffs.
Shannon, I will start with you. How impressive did Dallas look yesterday?
They were impressive. Okay. They were very impressive. To go on the road, they hadn't been very good on the road this year. They hadn't won back-to-back games this year. They hadn't scored 20 points in back-to-back games this year. And so in order for them to put it together the last 2 weeks, to go on the road, a division rival in Philly, get 27, go into Atlanta and win that ball game in dramatic fashion the way they did. I thought defensively they were outstanding. Atlanta had been averaging about 32 points a game at home, and to hold that team with those weapons in their building to 19 points speaks volumes to how good their defense is. And the formula for the Cowboys, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it is Zeke. It is a heavy.
You've never broken a record in your life.
Yeah, you know that. I know I sound like a broken record, but Zeke is the way this team can this is not only the way they got back into the race as far as being in the division, winning the division, but this is the way they can maintain that, is that Zeke got 30 touches, 23 carries, Skip, seven passes, and over 200 yards. And if you look at the games in which they won, Zeke's dominated. You look at the games in which they haven't won, Zeke hasn't gotten the opportunities to show what he's able to do. I thought early on Dak missed some throws that were there, but when he needed to be good, not only was he good, he was great. And I think that's the mark of a quarterback, for him to do what he did, especially when his back was against the wall. They tied the ball game, and now Dak, you don't want to give this ball back to the Falcons. They seem to have found their rhythm. Hey, next time you go back to you go to the middle of the field, Skip, you didn't want it to be for the coin toss. You wanted to go shake Matt Ryan's hand because you had a walk-off field goal. And that's exactly what they got. You look at the defense, I thought defensively, they got enough pressure on Matt Ryan early that he missed some throws. The throw that he got Julio Jones late in the ball game, he had that very throw, I think, late first quarter, early second quarter, and he underthrew him. That was because of the pressure. Lawrence and Gregory, those guys was collapsing the pocket. They put just enough pressure on him early that it forced some mistakes early. And again, the tackling Dutchman, Skip, he showed up again. Second straight week, he got a pick. And really, that was the difference in the ball game. Other than that, it was a clean ball game on both sides of the equation. And the one mistake, I think it led to a touchdown, and the next thing you know, The Cowboys have a nice lead. Falcons come back in the ball game, but give the Cowboys credit. They are in what we call the catbird seat. The injuries that Washington has suffered, you can't lose 3/4 of your offensive linemen. Your best receiver in Paul Richards was first or second best wide receiver. And the gruesome injury that Alex Smith suffered. I know Colt McCoy has been around a while, Skip, but Colt McCoy is not leading Washington to anywhere. And the Eagles, we'll talk about them a little later. The Saints made them quit yesterday, beat them into submission. The Cowboys are in the driver's seat, but the next 3 weeks, you get Washington at home, and then in another week, you get the Saints. The Eagles have 3 games, 3 division games. So we'll find out in the next 3 weeks, are the Cowboys for real or are they pretending?
I think we just had breaking news here on Undisputed. I think Shannon Sharpe basically just conceded.
I didn't concede nothing.
I think you just did. You went so far as to concede front runner in the NFC East after I just spent a whole week hearing about how they got no shot. The Eagles.
I didn't say they didn't have a shot.
You had said no shot, and
They
Dak
got little
was a
shot.
bust, and now you're trying to kill me with kindness. But I think you're just over there conceding.
Nope.
Yep.
Not yet?
Yep.
I'm not
Yet.
conceding.
Not yet.
No.
So now for the truth about what happened
Please tell
yesterday.
us.
So I just keep underestimating my Dallas Cowboys because once again, I was wrong. I thought they were going to lose Atlanta, but I thought they were going to lose all season at Atlanta because it was such a nightmare a year ago that I told you I have not conceded yet.
I see what you do, Skip, baby.
I was ecstatically wrong once again yesterday, just as I was ecstatically wrong about what they did to Carson, WINCE, and the Eagles at Philadelphia on Sunday night, the previous Sunday night. But there was no way that I thought my defense, which was allowing the third, was the third most, 29th, they were 29th in third down conversions allowed, and Marcus Mariota had gone 11 for 14, and I thought that defense could hold Matt Ryan and Julio and Sanu and Ridley to just one touch. Shannon Sharpe, they scored one touchdown, and it came late in the game, did the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
1 touchdown and 4 field goals. As you point out, that was pretty great. But the truth is, I was not all that impressed by what my Cowboys did yesterday because they should have won that game fairly easily. It still took a last-ditch drive, and I had to sit and fret Brett Maher having to redeem himself by making a walk-off field goal from 42 yards that almost hit the right upright. I still haven't quite recovered from that. I was on the floor over that one because it almost grazed the right upright.
45 yards, it might not get in.
It might not have gotten in, and that was shades of at Washington, right?
correct.
But the point was that these Cowboys have not peaked yet. They're not hitting on all cylinders. They have not come together just yet. And if they do against Washington, and then who knows against New Orleans, I don't love that game, but then against Philly, if they do, they could not only be the team to beat in the NFC East, but they could be a contender in the NFC.
First of all, Skip Bayless, you make it seem like, they're not hitting on all cylinders. Maybe they're a 4-cylinder and not a 12-cylinder. Maybe that's all the cylinders they have.
Let us count the cylinders they missed on yesterday. Early in the football game, Cole Beasley dropped a touchdown pass that hit him right there, just right in the hands, thrown by the bust, Dak Prescott. He threw a touchdown pass. Who knew he's even capable of doing this? Cole! Your hands turned to coleslaw. Well, what is that about?
The ball was slick.
That cost them 4 points. And then next up, we have Jeff Heath, my potential Pro Bowl safety. I'm kidding there.
Yeah, exactly.
He dropped an interception.
He didn't drop it. Julio busted
Baloney! He busted it up.
Woo!
Listen, if we reverse the roles, Julio puts that in his back pocket. Jeff Heath has to catch the football.
Skip, Julio's a receiver.
Julio didn't do anything on this. He arm tackled him.
Put that shoulder pad on him.
Jeff Heath, you got to concentrate
pad
and
on him,
just
Julio.
hold it. Hold the football. This is going to save 3 points. And what happened? He did not hang on. And Atlanta goes down and gets 3 points they should not have had. So now we're up to 7 points. Then we got the Xavier Woods play. He's got Tevin Coleman for a 5-yard loss in the backfield. It's a tackle. It's like sitting duck tackle, where that's come on, we don't have this play, but the point is, Xavier Woods has got him dead to rights where he catches it, looks up, and he's right in his face, and he just swings and misses. And Tevin Coleman goes for 18 yards, and they get another field goal. It's a loser play. You cannot miss that tackle. I know he's still a young safety, but you've got to make that play. If I add that up, that's 11 points that they should have had going into the end of the football game, and it would not have been close.
Well, what about Julio? You remember Julio dropped that play on like the 5-yard line? When Matt Ryan got hit from behind and Julio came back and he ended up dropping the ball in the first
that was
quarter.
A hard catch.
No, it was not a hard catch.
Well,
that's Julio. Julio got to put that in his back pocket.
Okay. So late in the ball game, and I'm not saying these cost points, but would you believe that my Pro Bowl right guard, Zach Martin, had a false start on a 3rd and makeable that made it 3rd and unmanageable, and it cost them, they're trying to kill the clock, and instead they're going to have to give the ball back to you-know-who.
Right.
Matt Ryan in that dome. And then on the punt, you have pinned Matt Ryan back at his 17 until Lance Lenoir runs out of bounds and blasts the punt returner like it's the dumbest, the most boneheaded play you will ever see. What are you doing? And you let Mike Ryan start at his 32, and you know the rest of the story. Pretty quickly, he hits Julio for the bomb touchdown.
Yeah.
And again, Woozy played that touchdown, the throw to Julio, that one. He played it great. He was all over him. He's Julio. He's really good.
Yeah, but the thing is, Skip, is that we knew the Falcons' defense weren't very good. They're not very good in total yards. They're not very good in pass defense. And the thing is that the Cowboys did enough. They didn't get like, okay, yeah, they're really bad in pass defense. Let's just throw. They handed the ball. Look, what we're really good at, if you can't stop what we're really good at, we don't need to worry about what you're bad at. Because if you couldn't, and they couldn't stop the run. So once they couldn't stop the run, now the play action is there. He again, found his back. Zeke caught another, 5-6 balls. Rod Smith caught a couple of passes. The tight end caught 4 balls. Still, only 9 of the completions that Dak had went to wide receivers. And you're looking at Amari Cooper. Amari didn't have that bust-out game. But what he did do, Skip, he made some really tough, contested catches, especially on 3rd down, which kept the Cowboys on the field. And when you're trying to establish yourself and say, you know what, we're a team to be dealt with, you need to stay on the field on 3rd down and give your opportunity. That's going to go a long way for the Cowboys. But they're not out of the woods yet. I expect them to win on Thursday.
So now you're backtracking.
No.
After that opening soliloquy in which you conceded.
They are I did not concede. They are in the catbird seat. Given, like you said, they've backed their way into the lead. Washington, Skip, you know Washington's done. You know that.
I don't know that.
You do know that.
My God, we got Armageddon on Thursday at Jerry World.
Colt McCoy.
Huh?
Colt McCoy.
You know what happened on, October 27th of 2014 on a Monday night in that same stadium? Colt McCoy happened to the Dallas Cowboys.
Kenny said she was in her mid-20s in 2014.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine.
Not late.
I think she was in her teens back then.
But anyway.
Not exactly.
Look, Washington, New Orleans, Philly. Philly has all division opponents over the next 3 weeks. So when it's all said and done, Skip, we can easily be tied up with about 3 games to go, and the winner take all.
But the front runner said Shannon Sharpe, the
It's
Hall
the
of Famer, is the Cowboys.
Okay.
I thank you very much. Why is that happening? Because number one, to your point about Zeke, I've always said he's the best running back in football. He just hasn't played up to that caliber. But he is playing his way into big game shape right before your very eyes. It still bothers my eye that he has to pull himself out of the game after every pretty big run. He'll go for 13 or 14 yards.
Most running backs
and it's
do.
like he's waving out of the game.
Yeah.
Well, Emmitt Smith didn't. Jim Brown didn't. How far do I have to go back? I mean, you just go.
Jim Brown just laid on the ground like,
I can't get up.
And then
So did Emmitt. So did Emmitt. He'd
Exactly.
drag his shoulder back to the huddle.
And the next thing you know, they
Here
go
he come
30
again,
yards, 40
right?
yards for a touchdown.
So I don't want to see Emmitt pull himself, but again, I don't think
Zeke.
he's quite, Zeke, but I don't think he's quite in huge game shape, but maybe he will on Thursday and then the following Thursday against New Orleans. But I will also point out that Leighton Vander Esch, again, I was wrong about Leighton, but listen, I told you DJ Moore was the best receiver in the draft. I wanted DJ Moore. What did he do yesterday for Carolina? 7 for 157. He's the best receiver. I'll take him over Calvin Ridley any day or night. But the point is, I will really take Leighton Vander Esch because not only can they use him? But they need him because Sean Lee obviously has a sort of terminally defective hamstring. So that was a smart pick on their part.
Sean Lee might have started his last game in Dallas.
You're probably right about that. They're talking about playing both of them at once. I don't
What are you going to do with Jalen Smith?
I don't know.
He's not coming off the field.
But maybe they mix and match, but whatever. So now we get down to the quarterback. And the quarterback was hit and miss for much of the game. And then what happened in the final drive, as you note, the quarterback was clutch. The quarterback is a warrior. The quarterback will compete. And that's what I love about the quarterback. That's why Jerry Jones said before the game yesterday, I would not trade Dak Prescott for 2 first-round picks, and I wouldn't even think about trading for 2 first-round picks. He's just too valuable. He makes too many must-have plays. And in this case, it got in that last-ditch drive. It got to 3rd and 5 at the 30. 3rd and 5 at the 30. If you miss this throw, you just might be done in this game.
Oh, yeah, you're done.
Right?
The Falcons are going to go down and kick the game when
okay.
he goes.
And he throws it to the rookie Michael Gallup, and that's a throw.
Yep.
That's a clutch throw. It's a guts throw. He stepped into it, threw it with authority and velocity. Boom. And that saved the day and set up the next play, which was 2nd and 10 from the 49, in which he drifted to his left. This is still to Gallup. He drifted to his left, and he found a guy he's got some wavelength with. He found Cole Beasley with a little fadeaway pass. And it was sweet because it shows touch, it shows feel, it shows athleticism drifting to your left. And it's a clutch game-winning play because that set up the field goal. So let's give Dak some credit. I know he's a bust, but he's a clutch bust.
Yeah, don't stop doing that.
He's a clutch bust. You got to give him clutch bust.
First of all, I never said Dak was a bust.
Well, you came real close.
No, I didn't come real close.
You said everything but bust because you wanted to, give yourself a little wiggle room on the bust.
I mean, here's the thing, though, Skip. Einstein is really thought of as the smartest man to ever live. He flunked math. You can flunk a class and still be great. So he might have flunked.
So you're saying, wait a second, that Dak could be the greatest quarterback ever because he flunked math?
Why you do that?
I don't know. You went to Albert Einstein in the same sentence with Dak Prescott.
All I'm saying is that you can have bad moments. You cannot have a good game. You cannot have a great year and still turn out to be spectacular. I'm not saying he's going to be transcendent. I'm not saying he's going to be a pantheon quarterback. But look, it's so hard to find a guy, period, to play that position. Dallas seemed to have found their guy. In the draft, you're able to put pieces around him. Now, it's going to be very interesting, Skip. You better go ahead and maximize this while you have him. You know it becomes very difficult to add pieces around a quarterback when he's making $25, $30 million.
Correct.
So
ask the Vikings.
You had to get a shot in on first.
I had to, but we'll get to him in a little bit here.
I'm sure we will, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jenny.
Here's the point. The Dallas Cowboys now have 3 straight home games. Again, Washington, I believe they can get revenge on the Redskins and on Colt McCoy.
You think?
I just think so, and I think it will not be easy, but I think they can.
It's a division game. It'll be difficult.
I think they can at least play Drew Brees tough because they usually have in their past. I know it's going to be tough, and I know he just did a 48-7 on the Philadelphia Eagles.
You like that, didn't you?
Well, did I? I can't wait to talk about that in our next
I bet you can't.
Oh, boy.
And yet, then come the Eagles back, what's left of the Eagles, Carson, W-I-N-C-E, and then they go to Indy, and I've been giving that like a big W, and all of a sudden, this is what the NFL is this year, all of a sudden they've come back to life.
Andrew Luck, 7 straight games with 3 touchdowns or more.
I don't know. So is that tricky? Yeah, it's getting trickier. Then Tampa comes to Dallas.
They done.
I think we got that one. And then at Giants, and all of a sudden, Eli has come back to life.
Odell said they're going to win out.
Well, maybe he's got
Get him, Odell.
So, but again, I've always said that I love the last 3 games because those are the 3 aces in a hole for Dallas. But if they could win 2 of the next 3 and then win out, you're going to be in big trouble.
I got them lose. I got them winning going 1 and 2 in the next 3.
1 and 2?
1 and 2 in the next 3.
Who's going to beat them?
The Saints and the Eagles.
The Eagles?
Yep.
Do you want a case right now on that?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Rob Parker actually bet me a dinner yesterday that the Eagles would lose to the Saints. So I got
would beat
that.
the Saints.
Yeah. Huh?
He said the Eagles would beat the Saints.
I mean, would beat the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Beat the Saints.
Yeah.
So
A lot of dinners.
It's a lot of dinners.
You
a lot of a lot of dinners.
You was not even supposed to take. You said, Rob, I got to protect you from yourself.
I tried to just back him off.
No.
But he
you
wouldn't
should have
do
said,
it.
no, I'm not going to do it. friend, Skip, you know Rob is under the influence of something, so you say, I'm taking the keys, I'm not doing it. But you did it because you know it was an easy win.
I want to remind everyone that Shannon Sharpe last Monday bet me 3 cases that the Eagles would win the East. Are you feeling good about that?
I don't feel good about it. No. But I'm going to take some Imodium today when I get home, and I'll feel better.
Really?
I'll feel better when they win, if they can win. If they pull this out on Sunday, I'm going to feel real good about this, Skip. Now, we got the Giants, and as you mentioned, the Giants are playing better. All of a sudden, Eli went 17 to 18. Can you believe that? Eli's basically had like 10 plays this entire season. And then yesterday, he goes 17 of 18.
After lighting up the fourth quarter on
the 49ers on Monday night.
Yeah, on Monday night. Who knew?
So who knows what we're going to get from Eli. But the Eagles win that one, Skip, we back in biz.
Well, if
we
the
like
Cowboys,
F.A. Swartz.
If the Cowboys ever peak, because they're not even close to peaking, they have not
They
peaked.
peaked.
Here they come.
Hold on, Skip. You make it seem like that Dak Prescott can play at not a Carson Wentz, but like a Drew Brees or a Pat Mahomes type level. He's not capable of getting that this year.
That's not what they do.
Okay, then.
It's Dak and Zeke.
Don't put Dak first. Put Zeke.
Dak and
Is
Zeke.
Zeke
Sometimes
and Dak.
it's Zeke and Dak. Sometimes it's Dak and Zeke. I like the combo. I like the defense.
Your day coming.
I like the offensive line without Connor Williams. He's still out.
Over that next 3 weeks, I want you to have that same energy, that same fervor, that same banging on the table that
I will have it
Okay.
next Friday.
I bet you will. I bet you will have it Friday.
The following Friday, I don't know.
I know. I know. Let's get a case of do on that right now.
Nope. But I got a case of do on Dallas versus Philly.
I'm thinking about picking the Cowboys against the Saints. I smell upset.
Yeah, you're trying to do the big jinx factor.
I'm thinking because last time, you remember in what was that, 2009? The Saints were undefeated.
It was late in the year. It was like the second to last game, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. They went to New Orleans and knocked them off.
Yeah.
They were
So
unbeaten.
I see a very
I told
similar
you they've
situation.
had some
So
success against
I might-
you when you least expect
Yeah,
it.
I might have to flip that around.
Okay. All right. I'm not betting against Dallas.
Why?
I'm just not.
Hold
I'm
on.
good. I'm good to go because we
back
are
on.
in the driver's seat. We are, or to quote you, the catbird seat. I don't know what the catbird seat is. I never knew what it was, what it meant.
You in there.
What is a catbird? I don't know.
You riding shotgun right now.
Yep.
You called dibs. You shotgun. You feeling real good about
Sounds
yourself.
like Shannon Sharpe is on the run.
No.
Yeah.
Like I said, the next
Okay.
3 weeks.
okay.
Once we tie this thing up,
And
the
then you
Eagles.
try to talk yourself back out of it, and you talk yourself into one
No.
losing bet after another.
Eagles will be 3-0. Cowboys will be 1-2. And TIE.
You know what you remind me of? A degenerate gambler who just can't win for losing,
Yep.
and he just chases, bad money with good money.
Skip, I can't win if I don't bet. So
Okay.
I make
Keep
smart
trying.
bets. 3-0. You actually think the Eagles going to play as bad as they played yesterday for the next 3 weeks? You think they're capable of that? You think Dougie P will allow that to happen? You think Walking to him will have another game in which he throws 3 INTs and 0 touchdowns?
Dougie
That's
P
not going to happen.
writing a sequel to his best
Skip, that's
Fearful. Fearful. I am fearful.
See? Well, man's down, you taking advantage of him. Okay, you laugh now.
Yeah, when he was up and beating his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the time
that
you're supposed
worked
to
out.
do
You
it.
had to know we were going to make fun of that book title if they were going to follow up
Fearful.
on
Fearless.
anything.
Fearful.
Fearless. He going
go.
for the 4th down.
Okay. I'd like to get Skip and
I like
Shannon's
that
take.
star over my shoulder.
Oh, really? You're liking that? Should we
Whatever.
We'll set it up for the whole rest of the show. Okay, will Lamar Jackson keep the starting job in Baltimore? And are the Eagles' playoff chances over? We'll see.
No.
Discuss next.
No.
No mercy.
Yesterday, Lamar Jackson became the last of the first-round rookie QBs to start a game. He threw for 150 yards, but his real work was on the ground. Lamar rushed 27 times, which is the most by a quarterback in the Super Bowl era, and finished with 117 yards. Lamar got the start since Joe Flacco has a hip injury, and he helped the Ravens beat the Bengals. Let's take a listen to John Harbaugh and Lamar after the game.
I think I stayed up all night last night. I was like, man, we need to play right now. I was ready to play last night. And, 1 o'clock came, I'm like, let's go time.
Do you think your body can sustain that much pounding
Yeah,
week in, week out?
yeah, but hopefully I don't got to use it like that. Just sit back and throw the ball.
I think that's what Lamar felt like it took today, and I don't believe it's going to take that many carries every week. It's not what we're going to be shooting for by any stretch. But if it takes that many, Lamar will do it.
Okay, Shannon, should Lamar keep the job as the starter?
I believe so. Skip, they know what Joe Flacco is. They know what he's capable of doing. I do not believe Joe Flacco will be on this roster next season. You took Lamar Jackson in the first round for a reason. You traded back into the first round to take Lamar Jackson for a reason. And you don't take a guy in the first round with the anticipation of him staying 4 or 5 years on the bench. Those type of quarterback, that time is over, Skip. You know, there was a time you'd have a quarterback, you stash him away, Skip, and you know, 2 years. The Aaron Rodgers situation. No more. No more. It costs too much. It's just not cost effective, and you need to get the guy on the field to find out what he's capable of doing sooner rather than later. So I do not believe that Joe Flacco, if and when he comes back, he should be the starter, because I don't believe Joe Flacco will be on this roster, as I said earlier, next year. And you need to get Lamar Jackson ready to play. And the only way he gets ready to play is by playing, Skip. And I know people like, you learn so much from sitting on the bench. Name the guy that sits on the bench and after the game say, you know what, I learned a lot today. Man, ooh, I know what I need to do now. And boy, when they put me in, I'm gonna be ready to go. No, you get better. You get ready by playing.
Aaron Rodgers got better by watching.
No, he didn't, Skip. We don't know. Ain't no telling. He would have just sped up that process. But we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers.
No, we're not.
See how you try to do that?
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
you're exactly right. And plus, Skip, he needs to get experience. Now, I know what John Harbaugh said. I know what Lamar Jackson said. No, bruh. You won't last a season carrying the ball that many times a game. 27 rushes, now, Skip, that got skewed because 3 of them was kneel downs. But still 24. Now, the fact of the matter, a lot of those was a lot of those were called. Now, Lamar Jackson right now, where he is, he's in the very developmental stage of being an NFL quarterback. So if his first read is not there, Skip, guess what he's going to do? He's going to pull the ball down and run. That's not a call run. That's just where he is now as far as his maturation is throwing the football. So you want to scale that back. Michael Vick, who's one of the great dynamic runners of all time, the most times he's ever run the ball in a game was 15. Let that sink in.
By the way, he's going to join us a little later right here at this desk.
Go ahead.
You're not going to make a live. Marvin Lewis had a quote at the end of the game says, look, you can't run like that. Eventually they catch up with you, and eventually you'll get hurt. I think John Harbaugh understands that. Lamar Jackson understands that. But I thought he did a very good job considering, Skip, and he talked about it after the ball game. He says in college it was a lot of hand signals. Everybody looks to the sideline, the hand signals. Okay, everybody knew what to do. He said that's not in the NFL. NFL, you call a play, and it's a long play. And then you get to the line of scrimmage and you look at the defense, and if it's not the defense that you want against the play call, you have to audible into another long-ass play. And I thought he did a very good job, Skip, of doing that, but they made him comfortable. He's comfortable right now using his legs. But there will come a time, and all of them, the running quarterbacks had to go through this, be it Steve Young, Randall Cunningham, Mike Vick, John Elway. You must become proficient at throwing the football from the pocket.
You do.
Now, Skip, there was an incident that happened yesterday in the game, and I don't know if you didn't watch this game, but Vontaze Burfict, who has a history of being dirty, he was on the ground yesterday, and Marshall Yanda, the starting right guard, who's a very good player for the Baltimore Ravens.
He's a 6-time Pro Bowl player. Go ahead.
All pro. He spit on Vontaze Burfict. Now, NFL, if you're serious, you got to sit him down. You got to sit him down for a minimum of 1, possibly 2 games. Skip, this is as low as you can get. You don't get any lower than that. And Marshall Yanda, you being a white player and Vontaze Burfict being black, that is the ultimate of the ultimates. Next to being called.
Even though some players will say Vontaze had it coming, but not that.
Not that.
Yeah, I got it.
Next to calling him the end, that's the lowest you can do.
Agreed.
And if you spit on him, you might as well have called him that.
It was a big spit, too. It was a hanger. It sort of hung for a while and dropped.
And if, Troy, that's your genre. Troy Vincent, I'm talking to Troy Vincent. That's it. The punishment must be swift. It must be harsh.
I'm with you on that. That also points up just what a division rivalry this is. Anything Pittsburgh-Baltimore, Cincinnati-Baltimore. So you have to frame what Lamar Jackson was thrown into. That was a fire he got thrown into. I thought he played sensationally well, sensationally poised well, getting thrown into that fire, even though it was a home game. It's a hard game.
Yes.
And there's a lot he's having to process quickly that he's never had to process, to your point. And again, he definitely should keep the job because I don't know if you remember this, but before the season started, I thought they should have started him from game one. Not because I think Lamar's bound for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's to be determined somewhere out in the future.
Right.
It's just because I have seen enough of Joe Flacco, and I thought they had seen enough. Again, I cannot argue with Joe Flacco's post-game stats. They are all-time sensational.
Postseason.
Postseason stats. 25 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, a record of 10-5. And after he did lead them to the one Super Bowl that they won, since then, they have missed the playoffs 5 of 6 seasons. That will not fly, so to speak, for the Ravens in Baltimore, right?
Nope.
And he became the highest paid player in pro football off the Super Bowl. Then they re-upped him again and made him the highest paid again. And over the last 6 years, his QBR has been 55, an average of 55, which is right in the middle of the pack. And it's not good enough to be the highest paid player in pro football. It's not good enough when you've missed 5 of 6 playoffs. I thought that Lamar Jackson, as much as he needs to know about, learn about throwing the football, could ignite that team with his arm and his legs and his playmaking. He's just got a spark to him that I loved at Louisville. This man with a football under his arm,
dynamic.
He is sensational. He is breathtakingly fast. I'm interested to see what Michael Vick will say about this when he joins us, but I think Lamar is a tick faster straight line down the field than Michael.
You think so?
Wow. Boy, I do. Boy, I don't know. I know the Michael Vick experience. I'm talking about the Atlanta Vick.
Yeah, no, the Atlanta Vick ain't nothing. We've never seen anything like that, Skip. Because you got to realize when he came to Philly, Skip, he had just got out the...
Oh, I know that. I'm discounting all that.
Oh, no, the Michael Vick experience was
because
something you...
Michael Vick actually turned into a very good throw of the football under Andy Reid in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Michael Vick experience.
To this point, remember, they did a nice job, Marty Mornhinweg and John Harbaugh, of saying yesterday, we have to put the ball in his hands and let him make plays more with his legs than his arm.
Correct.
Do not underestimate this young man. He's not a poor passer.
No.
He can be a decent NFL passer. It's not a pretty pass that comes out of his hand, but it comes out with velocity and decent accuracy. I know he got up to 59% his last year at Louisville. He got up to 27 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. He's going to throw a few interceptions. He's got he had one bad one yesterday after he made a defender miss in the backfield. But the point is, they let him run with the football. And what I do love about him, and not that I want to see him run 27 times, but he's got that self-preservation gene in him that RG3 never had.
Right.
He's got that sort of protect yourself instinct that RG3 never had. Lamar will get down and slide. He'll take his 8 or 9 yards and just get down. Lamar will run from trouble. RG3 never ran from trouble. He would run into trouble or try to run through trouble, which obviously you're just not going to last. So I thought he got away with 27 carries, the most in the Super Bowl era since 1966 by a quarterback.
Right.
He got away with it, and I don't think he's that beat up today. I don't.
He's young, Skip. You know, when you're young, you can overcome things like that. It doesn't matter.
Maybe.
But you can't sustain. Even running backs. Earl Campbell is the guy that comes to mind, Skip, that took this kind of 30
but running
carries.
backs can't slide. I guess they could if they wanted to, but nobody would ever let them hear the end of it in the locker room, right?
But the 30 carries, 27. Because think about it, Skip. He had 27 rushes. Okay, that's skewed a little bit because of the 3 kneel down.
True.
But he got sacked twice, and then how many times did he get pushed down in which he didn't get sacked, in which he threw the ball? So he had to pick himself off the ground 30-plus times.
Not once in that game did I ever say, ooh, I don't know about that one. Like, I never thought he got tagged where he got...
Cumulative effect.
Okay, you could be right. But he did this at Louisville, and he was just fine. I'm knocking on wood for it.
They hit a little hard in college.
Well, I got that. Obviously, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to hit you harder in a rivalry.
Oh, yeah. And they try. You keep trying to get enough shots on him. You're like, look, for that one clean shot, you're not trying to be dirty, but if I can get a clean shot on him, especially when he's running, Skip, he's a running back. He's a wide receiver. He got the ball. I don't look at number 8.
Yeah. So, to the Michael Vick question, Michael had much more make you miss, the side-to-side quickness, but I think Lamar, with the football under his arm, he might have a touch more speed and a touch more acceleration. I know it. I watched it.
Mike ran 4.33 at the combine.
I think this, I don't know what he ran at the combine. I'm just looking at what my eyes are telling me with football under arm. The acceleration is electrifying.
Well, you remember the overtime. The first time when Michael Vick burst became a household name in overtime against Minnesota. He split two defenders.
I know.
I mean, they got him sandwiched, and he comes out on the other side and hits his head on the goalpost. And that's when everybody's like, oh, my. We had never seen a quarterback that could do things like this with his feet. Now, we thought Randall Cunningham was special because Randall could run, but Randall was a long strider, would jump over you. Michael Vick just had, he had world-class speed at the quarterback position.
He did. No, he did. And yet Michael didn't have that self-preservation gene either.
No.
You know, that protection, like I'm going to avoid this. He took shots.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is a special young man, and they should go forward with him. And again, he's going to have to do it unorthodoxly.
For the time being, until he learns. You know the thing, what people will say, Skip, is that the Baltimore Ravens are in the 6th seed. So they're right in the playoff hunt. But the question that I've asked you this, playoffs right now or 5, 6, 7, 8 years of maturing this guy in multiple playoff runs? I believe you possibly sacrifice. And that's not to say they can't make a playoff push with Lamar Jackson in at quarterback. But I believe the long-term benefit of him playing now will serve them well down the road.
I just have a gut feeling. Joe Flacco, if he comes back, they will miss the playoffs. If Lamar keeps the job, they will make the playoffs. Now, can he go win a playoff game on the road? It'd be hard.
Right. But they have the defense that'll keep him in a lot of games.
They will. So I loved what he did as a playmaker. He just makes plays, arm and legs. And he made a difference yesterday.
Yep.
You guys mentioned that 4-3-3 for Michael Vick. Lamar, 4-3-4 at his pro day.
Right.
4-3-4.
I'm just going on my eye test.
I don't know about the pro day.
Football
Michael, pro day and combine, Skip, you know that's different.
Okay, fine.
What's
but either way,
different
it's
is
fast.
football underarm
Yeah.
True. And the vision.
being chased.
But see,
right?
the thing is with Michael carried the ball in his hand like a loaf of bread. At least Lamar got it up under his arm.
Can't
All
wait
right.
until he joins us later.
I know.
yeah.
He's going to have a lot to say about that. No mercy. Next up for us, the Saints won their 9th straight yesterday by blowing out the Eagles. Drew Brees had 4 touchdown passes, including one in the 4th quarter to Alvin Kamara on 4th down, with the Saints already up big. After the play, Malcolm Jenkins flipped the bird at Sean Payton. After the game, Jenkins said, quote, "That was more personal between me and him, but we talked about it after the game, and it's all good." Philly's loss was the worst by a defending champion in NFL history. Shannon, are the Eagles that bad, or are the Saints that good?
The Saints are that good. Now, with the Chiefs play tonight, but as of right now, the Saints are the best team in football. Skip, the last 3 games, they punted 4 times. Let that sink in. The last 3 games, they have 4 punts. That's unheard of. They dropped 45 on the Rams. They dropped 50-plus on the Bengals. They dropped another 48 on the defending Super Bowl champs.
Records are falling.
And what makes them so dynamic is because they can run the ball with the best team in the NFL. They got 2 runners. Ingram and Kamara can run with anybody. They also can catch with anybody. And now you got Drew Brees with pinpoint accuracy. Really, he only has one receiver that we like, a household name. That's Michael Thomas. He's starting to become a household name. We still don't look at Michael Thomas like we look at Julio, or like we look at AB, or like we look at D-Hop in Houston, or we look at Odell. But Skip, he's every bit. And Drew Brees is throwing guys open. Skip, he got a lot of undrafted free agents down there catching the ball. He making them look good. You see that? That's special. I mean, this offense is historically great. Now Drew Brees is 25 touchdowns, 1 interception. And Skip, in 14 years, I've been very, very cautious, and even my years of covering the game after I left it, to not use this word, which is quit. But the Saints made the Eagles quit yesterday. The Eagles just didn't quit. The Saints made them quit, made them tap out. Never seen anything like it. The defending Super Bowl champs, Jenny had it in the read. This is the worst loss by defending champ ever. And that's what happens. That's what the Saints don't call the dogs off. It's not my job to all of a sudden go into chill mode and just run the ball here and punt the ball. Or just, little short passes and try to get, no. You get paid, you get to meet just like I do. So I'm doing you a favor. See, Skip, I'm a firm believer. I want my coach to run it up. Because, see, I'm doing the opposing team a favor. I'm letting you know you need to get better players. You need to coach better. You need to meet a little better. Because right now, whatever you're doing is not working. Dougie P, you got to regroup, bro. The defense is not nearly. They did all this talking, Skip, we have fun and the other team don't have fun and this team have bandwagon fans and we don't get any respect. Nobody care about that. Because you winning the Super Bowl was not going to have an effect on 2018. Going back to the drawing board, getting back on your grind, that was what's going to help you. But the Saints, now I want to see what Patrick Mahomes boy going to do tonight.
True.
Because there's a good chance he might throw for 5 or 6 tubs. But right now, as I'm speaking, that's the best team in football right there.
You just accused a team of quitting that you are still hanging on and picking to win the NFC East. I want to remind you of that.
Yep.
You good with
Because
that?
I believe in Dougie P.
Okay.
I believe in Dougie P going to coach him up.
Really?
I believe they got too much pride in that locker room to let what happened yesterday happen again. Yeah, I do.
So, Jenny,
Yeah.
would you please ask me that
I
question?
don't ask him. You already know the question.
I can't remember it.
Oh,
How
really?
did it go?
Are the Saints that good or are the Eagles that bad?
The Eagles quarterback is that
No,
bad.
they got
Thank you. Thank you
didn't
for
ask you to
asking me that.
differentiate.
The Eagles
Should've set it up
quarterback is that
different.
You
bad.
know what?
In fact, he was getting shown up so badly by Drew Brees yesterday that's maybe why the Eagles defense and the rest of them just gave up. Because Carson Wentz was abominable yesterday. And I appreciated the fact that Troy Aikman on the Fox telecast twice raised the issue of his accuracy or lack thereof. Twice Troy said that there is some growing concern here because he's not that accurate. I have been trying to tell you that from the start. He can go a little deer in headlights. Unless he's throwing to Zach Ertz, he goes wild high, he goes wild low, and I'm just not sold on him. I'm not sure he's still the quote-unquote best quarterback in the NFC East.
Yes, you are.
Because the Dallas quarterback is getting a little better, and all of a sudden it's starting to feel like the Dallas quarterback has passed Carson, W-I-N-C-E, because when he throws, I wince, as in, yikes. That looked bad.
See, the thing is, and I don't want Troy to be a prisoner of the moment. Everybody is going to look inaccurate. If the guy they're going against on the other sideline is Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all the greats, when you play against that guy, because sometimes he'll throw for more touchdowns than he has incompletions.
Do you think New Orleans has a great defense?
I think
They do not.
But here's the thing, what makes them so dynamic, Skip, is that they put so much pressure. You know, your offense knows if you score less than 30, you're not beating them. So they lost the opening game. What was the magic number that Fitzmagic got to? What did they have, 45, 48 points? So they put so much.
48 to 40.
Right, so you know you have to score.
Yep.
That's what puts so much pressure on you. But in that building, Skip, and it looks like someone, in order to get to where's the Super Bowl this year, in Atlanta, you're going to have to detour. You're going to have to go down to New Orleans to come back to the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. So you're going to have to beat them there. That's no easy task.
So it was interesting. Yesterday, Jenny, I thought of Dak Prescott's worst game last year when he went into his post-Atlanta tailspin.
my
His
goodness.
worst QBR last year was 13. Carson Wentz yesterday had 12. He had a 12 QBR. That's worse than any game.
Skip, this is not about no comparison. This is about,
Interesting.
can we talk about the Eagles?
Interesting. I like this. So, what did I keep telling you about Carson Wentz? He's got one security blanket, and it is Zach Ertz. Zach or bust. He had thrown him the 5th most targets going into yesterday's game in the NFL. It's like Jarvis Landry and Julio and Odell
AB.
and Adam Thielen.
Thielen.
Yeah, those are the guys above him. So he was the 5th most targets. So what did Sean Payton say yesterday?
Take him
Carson,
away.
you cannot have him. You can't have him. He threw him 3 balls yesterday because he was covered the whole game, and he caught 2 for 15 yards, and that's how you beat the Eagles. That's how you turn Carson Wentz into an off-target basket case, dare I say. That's what he looked like, off-target basket case.
Yeah, his accuracy suffered. They put pressure on Skip. They put pressure on him. They rattled him early. That's what you try to do. You try to look. I don't care who your quarterback is. Get to him early and see what happens.
And meanwhile, I'm going to say exactly what I said 1 week ago sitting in this chair. Drew Brees is pulling away in the MVP race from Pat, your homeboy, right?
What did we see tonight? What happens?
This is a huge stage for Patrick Mahomes.
Let me ask you a
It is
question.
huge.
My homeboy goes and do what I think he's going to do, probably throw 5 or 6 tubs. Now what?
Well, I got to tell you, yesterday was what for Drew Brees?
Okay, yeah,
because I'm looking at what he did. Michael Thomas only caught 4 balls yesterday. Now, albeit for 92 yards, but he only caught 4 balls.
What about
so I'm looking at, wait a second, who are these people? Keith Kirkwood, to your point that you just made, He's undrafted rookie out of Temple. He's catching balls all over the carpet yesterday. And I look up and I say, the tight end, Josh Hill, he was once undrafted out of Idaho State. Who is he? Where did he come from? And then Taquan Smith. He's a rookie he was a third-round pick, but he's just a rookie out of UCF. And he had 13 targets yesterday and caught 10 passes for 157 yards. Drew Brees is going Brady-esque. It doesn't matter who you give him; he throws them all open.
When you're a great quarterback, that's what you do. You don't have to have 3 top-level receivers in order for you to put up numbers. When you're a great quarterback, you make the guys that you have, you make them better than what they actually are.
Also catching balls from Drew Brees yesterday, Dan Arnold, undrafted out of Wisconsin, and Austin Carr, remember the great Austin Carr for their broadcast?
Notre Dame great.
But he was undrafted as a receiver out of Northwestern. How is he doing this? This is MVP stuff. He's having his greatest year ever, and he doesn't have an MVP
Well,
on his
we're not
resume,
doing Lifetime Achievement Awards.
but we're doing narrative.
Yeah.
This is the narrative that you're going to have to beat, and I don't think Patrick Mahomes can beat it.
Well, we're going to see tonight. We'll see tonight what he does. I mean, if he goes out there and performs like I think he will, we'll have a different conversation tomorrow. But Drew Brees is playing unbelievable. The accuracy is as good as we've ever seen it, and coming from – for us to sit here and say, okay, last year he broke the record with 72% completion. This year he's at 77.5%, 78%. How do you get better than that? So almost 8 out of 10 passes when the ball leaves his hand is complete. If you complete 60% of your balls, that's a heck of a completion percentage. Drew Brees is almost 80%, which is unheard of.
So I told you last week, I thought their best receiver is Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield, like he's a quasi-wide receiver.
Yeah.
He caught one ball yesterday. It was the ball because it was 4th and 6, 37 yards for a touchdown. But this is Sean Payton. He gets full of himself. He likes to front run. He likes to rub it in.
But
he says, stop me. And right now, he's got the hottest quarterback in pro football.
And let that sink in, Skip. On 4th and 6,
Yeah.
we line a running back out wide, and we throw it to him. Not Michael Thomas, not to a wide receiver, not to a tight end. We'll line our running back and let him run a 9 route, which is a go route, and we're going to throw it to him.
Well, they did it all last year. They did it in Minnesota in the playoff game, effectively.
And Skip, now think about it now. They've beaten Minnesota. They've beaten the Rams. They hung 50-plus on the Bengals, and now they just did a number on the defending Super Bowl champ. Now, I believe the game Thanksgiving, it's a rivalry game between the Falcons. I can see this game being somewhere in the 40s because, it was New Orleans got a 6-point win earlier this year. But when it's a division game, Skip, you really throw the records out the window because you never know. Because look at the Broncos. The Broncos had no business whatsoever beating the Chargers. Phillip Rivers had 400 yards passing. But you turn it over, you let a team hang around, and the next thing you know, they're lining up to kick the game-winning field goal, and you go like, what happened?
So, Shannon Sharpe and I share only one thing this year. We both picked New Orleans to get to the Super
like my
Bowl.
pick a little bit more than yours because you picked somebody else in the AFC. But I like my pick a little better than yours.
Agree there on
I'm
that
real
one.
good with my AFC pick still.
You sure?
Yeah, because Tom Brady got to rest. I don't know, maybe he...
Why didn't he rest? Appliability. He don't need no rest.
He's not. He's.
I know he rested that game last week.
Well, he was in New York. He went to Hamilton. He's good now.
He did go to Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
Because
good.
Tennessee Titans put that burr on
Broadway
him.
fan.
Man.
Okay, we are moving on to LeBron and what he did. It was pretty impressive.
He played
Shannon,
yesterday?
Buckle up.
Did
This
not
is going to be interesting. That's coming up next.
No mercy.
Let's get to the NBA. LeBron went back to his old stomping ground in Miami and had a huge night. He finished with a season-high 51 points, including 6 three-pointers. LeBron was previously 0-4 in games he played against Miami since he left in 2014, but he led the Lakers to the 16-point win. With under 20 seconds left, LeBron nailed a three to get to 50, and after the game, he talked about the motivation behind that three-pointer. Let's take a listen.
Lance told me to finish the game off, and I bet you won't shoot a three. He said, go for the three. I bet you won't go for the three. So I went for the three. So I was pointing right at Lance.
From the jump ball, he was going. He was in attack mode and was making shots. It looked, when players are as good as LeBron and they're having a night, it just looks easy for them. And it's not easy, but they make it look easy because they're that good.
Well, I don't know if I need to ask, but I will anyway. Shannon, how impressive was LeBron last night?
What I have here, Skip Bayless, is the official outfit of the GOAT, along with the accessories, Ball of This, Beats by Dre, old GOAT James.
Huh.
I didn't know goats listen to music.
I didn't either.
Old GOAT James did a number on them on Heat yesterday.
Yeah.
Let them know what they have, what they missing.
Yeah.
Take this old goat off.
Yeah.
That me up in
Your
there.
goat needs to shave there.
Nah, leave him alone, Skip. He ain't bothering nobody. Old me and old goat.
Yeah.
Let me see what I got here. Oh, there
okay.
Old goat James.
Anything else?
Old goat James.
Oh.
I'm gonna get you one of these, Skip. Bayless.
I need one of those.
You see these, Skip? Only people got a pair of me and O'Brien.
Really?
Yeah, you ain't see these, right?
Pretty good.
Cool.
Hey, you could just tune me out.
Also,
Right?
you know when the GOAT do things, look what I got, Skip. That's a limited edition Miles Davis Mont Blanc. I wasn't gonna even bring it out, Jenny. I had this thing, been sitting on this thing for probably about a year. Because I was gonna use it to sign something very special.
Okay.
But I said, but when the GOAT did what he did yesterday, I said, you got to come with me.
Only you and LeBron have one.
Yeah, old Miles Davis Mont Blanc.
Really?
But let me
Borrow it
talk
for you.
Ooh, Skip. Was that a performance yesterday?
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn
you
yesterday.
gotta let him go
No,
here.
It's not your turn just yet. I mean, we saw what he did Wednesday night. On 19 shots, dropped 44. He said, you know what? And then, they didn't play particularly well against Orlando. Nobody played well. I thought, I'm upset at Luke Walton, Skip, because I thought he would bring LeBron and a few of the starters back in once they closed the game to 10 in Orlando. I thought that was game LeBron probably would have took it over.
Really?
Yeah, and won that one. But he said, you know what? I'm going to leave no doubt. Everybody says, I'm tired of seeing what these young guys going to do. We fall behind by 6 or 10 points. He said, no. When I go to Miami, I'm going to be ultra aggressive from the jump. Y'all come on, follow me. Went on down there, had to get him a 50 piece, a 50. Skip Bayless, he doing big things. Did you know? Now, see, Jenny, in my two and a half years doing this show with Skip Bayless, Skip liked to use sample size, large body of work. In the last 10 games, Skip, do you know LeBron James is shooting 51% from the three-point line?
What was he for the first?
What was he? Oh,
8.
Is that what we doing now?
Well, that's a sample size.
Whoa. Because when I tried to do that with Lonzo.
28%.
Okay. Well, since you want to do sample size, old Lonzo Ball last 6 games, 23%. But this is not his show. This is not about him. This is about the GOAT, about GOAT James. 19 points in the first quarter. 51, 8, and 3. That's what he's capable of, Skip Bayless. At some point in time, you're going to have to come to the realization that you're witnessing the greatest basketball player to ever live.
Really?
Just acknowledge it, Skip. It's okay.
I actually got to cover the greatest basketball player ever lived when I was in Chicago.
I ain't covered. I ain't covered. I'm covered him now. Look at that. Look what he do.
He smokes.
That's the and he drank wine.
Really?
That's the official. This is the official outfit with all the accessories of what a GOAT would wear.
Really?
Yep. LeBron James. Skip, you saw it. He got the 3-ball going, and I told you. I said, Skip, you actually think he gonna shoot 17%? He gonna shoot 20% a whole year from the 3-point? Oh yeah. I told you he's taking too many of those. LeBron, you're not taking enough threes. What I like most about this, with the exception of this game, Skip, he's getting these numbers playing 30 minutes, 32 minutes. Not those 38, 39 minutes that he was logging last year. Now he's getting these type numbers with the efficiency shooting that 3-ball. Think about it. He missed as many free throws as he missed 3 yesterday. But it's going to be a time, but he's going to get that 80%. He's going to shoot around 40%. I might give you a bet. Shoot 40% for the year for 3.
Seriously?
I might.
You might?
I might do that.
Well, why throw it out there unless you're going to actually do it?
2019. I'm waiting for 2019 coming around. I got to talk to him. I got to put a call into him.
Well, that was gutless on your part. You toss it out there like you're going to do it, and then you back off.
Right now,
I'll take it right now.
Right now, I'm going to hold steady with my 80% from the free throw line. But
he's a career 35% free throw, 3-point shooter.
And that, even though at a career 35, guess who's that better than? 123, 1824.
They didn't even shoot threes.
They shot him.
They
shot him.
They
shot
not.
him. They just didn't shoot him as good as he did. But Skip, go ahead and say it.
You realize you're going to lose another case of Diet Mountain Dew to me, because there's no way LeBron's going to shoot 80% from the free throw line. He's steadily plunging as we speak.
Still plunging.
7 of 10 last night, so that's... 70%.
He's still
plunge.
No, he's still shooting 75% right now.
Okay, well, you're not going to make it.
We're going to make it.
No, you're not going to make it.
But you saw him go 13 15.
I think it's my turn.
It is your
Thank
turn.
you.
Skip.
So I would like our court reporter to duly note that Shannon Sharpe just went GOAT James on a game at Miami against a Heat team that came into the game 6-9 with no Dwayne Wade. 6-9, and you were celebrating 51 points against that team that looks like just a shell of what the Heat used to look like? Really?
Yeah, we made him look like that.
So that's, and by the way, you said he's getting this on low minutes. He played almost 39 minutes last night.
I said with the exception of this game. But let me ask you a question. On Wednesday night, how many minutes did he play when he got that 44?
I don't remember because I don't care.
34.
All I cared about was I made the mistake of having to watch that game on Saturday night at Orlando, and LeBron made the mistake of, well, we're in the West, so we got jet lagged. Okay, stop it. It's not like you never got jet lagged when you were in Cleveland flying to L.A., right?
No.
Right?
He didn't.
Don't just stop it.
And he played the back-to-back.
And they were pathetic on Saturday night, especially on the defensive end, because I thought Magic was going to go off about what happened at the Magic, because I've never seen so many blow-bys. It's just like even LeBron, he's just looking around like, am I supposed to guard him? No, maybe you're going to guard him. Maybe nobody was guarding him. And Vucevic just went crazy. They have nobody. Tyson couldn't deal with him. JaVale couldn't deal with him. He goes for, 36 and, 13? 36 and 13.
Season high.
Yep.
When he gets to going like that, Skip, because you don't expect a guy his size to be able to shoot the three as proficient as he does. So he really did.
LeBron's team lost that game 130-117. Then LeBron got to go back to an arena where he's very comfortable.
House of Horror.
Loved it there.
He hadn't won since he left.
Okay, but he loved playing there, and he loved shooting there, because I remember that one fateful night, because I watch every LeBron game.
Oh, against Charlotte.
Do you remember this game in 2014?
When he had the mask on?
Whoo!
When he had that Bane mask?
Wow. He was just, he made 8 threes that night. He's made 8 twice in his career.
Yeah.
So he is capable of going crazy hot, and he is capable of going crazy cold. And then he is capable of getting away with something at the end of the game last night he should not have gotten away with.
What would he do?
LeBron goes back in to stuff the stat sheet
he didn't lead the game.
of a blowout. He plays most of the fourth quarter of a blowout so he can stuff his stat sheet, and then he tried to pawn it off on Lance Stevenson.
It's Lance.
He said, it's Lance's fault because Lance dared me to shoot this last-second three with 16 seconds. That's not last second. 16.5 seconds left, and he rises up and hits it. And he was just lucky last night he wasn't playing against one Kyrie Irving. His old running mate. Kyrie would have gone berserk over that one.
Throw the ball up in the stands.
He would have thrown the ball in the stands on that one, because that's breaking an unwritten rule.
But guess how he'd have thrown it in the stands once he got it at the net? You know what I'm saying, Jenny? Once he got LeBron said, come get the Spalding in your eye.
The final score is 113-97, and LeBron is jacking a three with 16 seconds left. He is breaking the unwritten rule because he's the king, and he can get away with it.
Well, how about another unwritten rule? Play defense. Don't let him get 19 in the first quarter. Don't let him have 48 at that point. And then you don't have to worry about him shooting the three.
So Jamal Murray tries to just shoot a little set shot three to get his 50, right?
Yeah.
And Kyrie goes berserk, and Kyrie wouldn't let it go. It went on for like 3 days. He was just blasting Jamal Murray in the media. But LeBron can get away with this? How is that?
LeBron ain't got away with nothing. LeBron ain't got to do it. And just like I told Kyrie, if you didn't like something, stop him. Stop him. You had 3.5, almost 4 quarters of the ball. Then you let LeBron get to 48 points, and then you worried about the last 3 that he attempted. Kyrie let Jamal Murray get 48 points. And now all of a sudden you worried about him possibly getting 50. Eat this 50 piece and get up out of here. Kyrie need to worry about what Donovan Mitchell and them did to him the night before. Last night, be Saturday night. You want to talk about that, Skip Bayless?
No, I want to talk about how the Heat fans let LeBron get away with that, because he did win them a couple of championships thanks to Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Ray Allen. Ray Allen saved LeBron's legacy in that building with that shot from the corner. Saved his legacy.
If you don't mind me asking, how many more playoff series have D. Wade won since LeBron left him in Miami?
Well, he just got old and his knees got shot.
Well, what they got to do with LeBron? What they got to do with LeBron? I know LeBron is going to the playoffs every year. As a matter of fact, since he left D. Wade and Chris Bosh, he's gone to the finals every year. He's won an NBA final.
All I know is that Dwayne Wade taught LeBron how to win championships.
Don't do that.
What do you mean, don't do it? He did it.
If you don't mind me asking, Kyrie left. Where Kyrie been? And ain't no guarantee.
Did you see him the other night? Close that game?
Yeah, he did an unbelievable job. Did an unbelievable job.
Yeah, now he's got his legs back underneath him. Better look out.
What happened to his legs on Saturday night when they played Utah, who had just gotten beat by 40 by the Dallas Mavericks? So what happened to Kyrie legs then? And he didn't have to leave. At least LeBron had to get on the plane and fly from L.A. to Miami. That's a long trip. I mean, I've flown that thing long couple times. Long trip. Kyrie slept in his own bed. And, got them therapeutic boots on, get all the flu, get all the swelling out of his knees and ankle.
Somewhere Kyrie is shaking his head right now, probably watching Undisputed, saying, how can Shannon Sharpe in the NBA world let LeBron James get away with that?
You know what Kyrie's shaking his head?
Get away with it.
Kyrie's shaking his head saying, man, I should have swallowed my pride. Damn, I left that situation. What the hell was I thinking?
I think he's just fine.
Don't worry about it. You mad because LeBron James got the LeBron James starter kit. This is a little smaller version. Now, I got a bigger mask. And I got a victory cigar here somewhere.
I don't blame you, because you're going to have to celebrate the small victories, because you're not going to have many big victories.
It's coming.
Let them get back in the West, and let's see what starts.
Hold on. Don't we play the West? Hold on. I got something here.
Is this going to be a new thing?
You want one of these?
No.
Now, this old ass, this one of them old good ones. I got old Heba in here, old Heba.
In this black bag of tricks.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Who knows what's in there?
Now, see, this was LeBron really. The old Cohibas.
Oh.
Man, LeBron love them thing right there.
You got any of that Snoop stuff in there?
Hold on. That's that premium. That's that primo. That's that old Presidente.
By the way,
smell it from a mile away, Jenny.
Isn't Snoop going to visit this week? I think he's coming in, right? On Wednesday.
He's coming Wednesday.
Snoop's coming in on Wednesday.
Yeah, but
he might bring you a new supply.
That package. Oh, I done got that package. I got that package earlier in the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got to make sure you're covered? Yeah. Well, they're wrapping up their 3-game road trip Wednesday with Cleveland. We might see another big performance because we know what
he
Cleveland's
should go for
doing right
70.
Now. Yeah, he should try to make a new record.
No. Look, Skip, we're not like that. We're not petty like that to try to rub it in the nose of our former team.
By the way, I think he rubbed it in Pat Riley's nose.
Whoa! Yeah. All we asked for was access. We want Glow to be able to come to have a pass just like she's an employee. We want a Rich, Maverick, and Randy, we wanted them to have access. You said no, so we dipped on you.
Here,
so now,
take that, Pat.
Yeah. So guess what? Pat, okay, you running the show. You still in charge.
Yep.
You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. Oh, you want to get Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant ain't even take your call. Who else you going to get? Anthony Davis? OAD. I know who will. I know who Anthony Davis, he will answer.
Okay, Shannon, put your props away. We're moving on. The Cowboys, are they now the team to beat in the NFC East? We'll discuss that next. Maybe Skip's got some props of his own, but I don't know if he needs them. No. Stay with us. No mercy. Well, as Skip likes to say, how about them Cowboys? They got a huge win in Atlanta yesterday. Well, I can't take all of the attention from
decibels.
it. Do you want to fill in for me there?
I already did it once. I only do it once per show. Because he can't take more than once.
That's all right.
Well,
we're still going to talk about it, though.
You do it again on Friday.
It's okay.
But it's coming to an end.
I'm good.
It's coming to an end.
Yep.
Skip.
I'm good. Yes,
when
Jenny.
you look at the Cowboys.
With authority, yes.
With authority. Is Dallas now the best team in the NFC East?
My Dallas Cowboys are now perfectly positioned to win this division as I predicted the Cowboys would. I did not predict they would win Atlanta because I didn't think they could. And I didn't really care whether they won at Atlanta or not. All I cared about yesterday, as I told you on Friday, was that the Eagles lost and they got annihilated and humiliated. And more important, that the Redskins lost. I told you that was a must lose. The Redskin game against the Texans at Washington, must lose for my Dallas Cowboys because if Washington had somehow squeaked that out and Colt McCoy almost pulled it out, they would still have a 2-game lead. Now it's just a 1-game lead. But here comes Colt McCoy. And I must tell you, I still fear the Redskins because I do fear Colt McCoy. He is the classic quality backup quarterback who is not afraid of big stages or big moments. He played in lots of big games at the University of Texas, and I remind the Cowboy fans painfully of that night on October 27th of 2014, in which Colt McCoy went into Jerry World and won 20-17 in overtime. Do you remember this game?
Yeah.
Romo got hurt. Brandon Whedon came in and threw the tying touchdown pass, and Romo said, I don't want to let him rise and shine. I better save my job. And he forced himself back into the lineup late in the game, and he came up empty. Late in the game and in overtime, and Colt McCoy beat the Dallas Cowboys, and he was sensational in that game. So, do I think the Cowboys can get revenge on Colt McCoy this time? I do. This is a different Dallas Cowboy team. Do I think they need to get revenge for what happened to them just a month ago at Washington? I do. They got robbed at Washington by a bogus penalty called on the false start on the field goal snapper. It was just so outrageously out of bounds. It was so wrong. Even the great Tony Dungy said that night on NBC, that was just wrong.
Right.
So we've got to right the wrong, and I believe that they will. And the Eagles, to me, look dead in the water. And you have 3 cases of Diet Dew on them winning this division. And I'm going to remind you, they still have to go to Cowboys, go to Rams, go to Redskins, and deal with those Texans in Philly. That's hard. And by the way, how about the Redskins? They still have to go to the Cowboys, go to Philly, go to Jacksonville, and go to Tennessee. Not easy games.
They're easy games. Mariota's not playing, and Blake.
We'll see. We'll see.
But anyways, okay, as I said before, and I think you wanted this question again because you wanted me to say it again. You wanted to hear me say it. The Cowboys are in the catbird seat.
Oh, you said it again.
They are in control of this division now. At some point, even before Alex Smith's gruesome injury, the injuries were starting to catch up with Washington, Skip. You can't lose 3/4 of your offensive line. You can't lose a quality receiver and still hope. You're like, you know what, our backup's going to pull us through. No, that's asking a bit much. And so now with that situation with Alex Smith, he's done for the year. I don't believe Colt McCoy is going to keep them afloat. I don't believe that he could have kept them afloat if the offensive line was 100% healthy. Given that it's not, all the more reason why the Cowboys are in control. Now, here's the thing. The next 2 games the Eagles have at home, they get the Giants at home, they get Washington at home. The next 2 games for the Cowboys, they're at home. They got
3 games at home, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying 2 because guess what? The Philly comes in that 3rd game, we could be tied and the winner be in the front, heading up out of Dallas. So I like that. The Eagles, look, I'm sure nobody thought the Eagles would be, mainly the Eagles thought they would be here. But they still have so much to play for. Everything they want to accomplish is still in front of them, Skip. Still in front of them.
Really?
Yeah.
You really hanging on to no hope? Huh.
Do I actually think Walk It To Him will play that bad again in his life?
It's more like Skip It To Him because he bounces most of
You
them.
know
right?
what, Skip? There's never a time that you fail to take a shot at my guy, but that's okay. You laugh.
I got to defend my guy.
The same thing.
Lord knows you take shots at
I
Dak
don't take no
Prescott.
shot at that.
Yeah.
Well, he won't take a shot down the field.
Anyway,
that's
there we go. I got Dak's back.
All I'm saying is this. The same thing make you laugh or make you cry. And the man that laughs last, laugh louder.
That is
because guess what? I'll be in here in 3 weeks. Now, I want that same energy. Jenny, say it with some decibels. Jenny, I need you to say it loud.
I like that.
I want you to have
again.
I want you to have
good.
That same energy, that same tenacity and fervor in which you banged on the table. I want you to say, walk it to him with that same tenacity.
By the way, I think I broke my little finger to open the show when I slammed it, but I'm kidding.
I was
but it's
worried.
all bruised and
Ain't that bruised?
I did it
You don't
3
want any
straight times.
bruise.
I tell you what's gonna be bruised. Your ego.
Nope.
Your ego gonna
I
be
got
bruised.
this. I got Thursday.
Okay.
And again,
No, you're talking about Thursday. Skip, they beat up.
you know what? The reason I fear the Redskins, that team has guts. That team has backbone. That team has fight in it. They fought to again, they had a 63-yard field goal that just fell short yesterday.
That thing wasn't even close.
Well, I'm just saying they got to that position because Colt McCoy's got guts. He won't choke. He won't fall apart.
Jenny, I'm closer kin to a zebra than that field goal had to make it.
Okay, fine.
Now, you know that wasn't close because you know I ain't got no zebra in me.
Was the game close? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Deshaun have a hard time throwing for barely 200 yards? Yep. Did they need 104-yard interception return?
Well, hold on, time out, Skip.
Yeah.
That's a normal occurrence for your guy.
What?
200 yards passing or less.
Well, he's got Zeke Elliott.
Exactly.
And he's got a
Say it again.
defense.
Say it again. He got who? See, I coached him into that. I got him into he didn't know I was going with that. He said, "Oh, Zeke, think about it."
Who pulled the Dallas game out yesterday in Atlanta? Who did they need to
Zeke.
make the clutch plays? Nope, wrong.
Dak, Skip.
Dak.
I gave him credit.
Dak. You did, but I'm just saying, when the clutch play needs to get made, I like my quarterback. I like my quarterback more than I like Carson, W-I-N-C-E.
Is walking to him, W-E-N-T-Z.
With W-I-T-H, walking to him, right?
Okay.
Yes, you're making it complicated.
You
like with.
Every time, you having a good old time. Now. Okay, he's at his lowest moment right now. He didn't play well yesterday. The Eagles didn't play well yesterday. I want you to pile it on, Skip, because when he come up out of this thing, in which I know he will because he made the right stuff. Like you said, he from the Dakotas. It gets cold. He's a hunter. He's an outdoorsman. And you got to be tough to be an outdoorsman from the Dakotas.
Really? He may have gone off on his off day.
Don't do it.
Shot some little birds. I don't know. Get it out of his system. Right? It's okay. It's okay. He's your guy.
I know
He's
what
not
you're
my
trying
guy.
to do. You're trying to get Peter to come for this guy. That's what you're trying to do. But it's not going to happen, Skip. It's not going to happen. He enjoyed his time off. He's made of the right stuff. Just like you said, Dak was made of the right stuff. He was going to bounce back. I believe the same for Carson.
And I believe my Dallas Cowboys were not that impressive yesterday because they have not peaked yet. Let this team catch a wave down the stretch, and big things could happen.
Okay, what about if the Eagles catch a wave?
I don't know. Who's got the best defense in the NFC East? I'd say it's Dallas.
Y'all have one of the Skip. You have one of the better defenses in the NFL. Okay, Skip.
Who's got the best running back in the division? I'd say Dallas.
guys do.
I think we got the best quarterback.
I don't know. I might go Saquon. I like Saquon.
Would not.
I like Saquon. Did you see what he did yesterday?
I saw against Tampa. Way to go.
Well, don't y'all play Tampa?
We do.
Okay,
We got them at home.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll take care of that little bit of business. We'll be okay.
Saquon had 142? I mean, think about how many yards he got getting back to the line of scrimmage. He had to dodge about 7, 8 guys in the backfield, so he should have another 50.
Go look at what he had against Dallas when he played at Dallas. See what it was. Not very good.
Well, we'll see when y'all play there.
Yeah.
He's a different back now.
See if he can outrun the tackling Dutchman.
I feel comfortable.
Just glad he's been having a good one, and now you can give him some love. You know, he's been playing well. How about this from what we saw yesterday? Did the Panthers make a mistake going for 2? Possibly. We'll discuss what happened and tell you next.
No mercy.
Well, the Panthers lost in Detroit yesterday, 20-19. Cam Newton threw a touchdown pass to DJ Moore with just over a minute left to pull Carolina within 1. And Riverboat Ron Rivera decided to go for 2. Cam had an open receiver, but threw it high, and the Panthers lost by 1. Shannon, did you agree with the decision to go for 2?
I do not. I absolutely disagree with this decision, Skip. I can see if the game was back and forth, Skip, and it was a 45-44 ball game. Okay, you're like, our defense hadn't stopped them all day. But, Skip, at this point, the defense had only given up 20 points. If you give up 20 points in today's game, you're going to win a lot of games, Skip Bayless. And that's what the Carolina Panthers defense had given up to that point. Ron, for you to say, I'm playing to win. Well, then why don't you go for 2 every time? So let me get this straight. You play for the win on the road, but you play for the tie at home? Because I noticed you lined up. What you do, you rob the kicker of confidence. Is that you like, we don't have any confidence that you can make this PAT here because you missed one earlier and you missed the field goal. Yep. I get it, but he's also won you a game or 2 by kicking last-second field goals. I don't get this call considering, and it wasn't like, you guys were lighting it up like it was a surefire thing, like you had scored 40-plus points, but the defense had played too well, kicked the field goal. Skip, you don't always have to try to be the hero by being aggressive. Sometimes you can play and let your defense. What happens if, you get the tie and your defense get a pick or they force a turnover? You took that out of their hands. And I know that when the guy was wide open, that's besides the point. For me, I don't look at the outcome and say, well, if Cam makes this throw, it was a great call. Because he missed it, it was a wrong call. I first, second, third, and fifth guessed it. I just thought at this juncture of the game, given with how well the defense had played, and then how ineffective, because think about it, you only had 19 points with a little over a minute left in the ball game. So it wasn't like the offense was marching up and down the field. And it's not like you got a Julio or a Gronk, a healthy Gronk. Look who he was throwing to, Skip. Really? I don't agree with this call, and I know sometimes, Skip, sometimes we try to live up to the nickname that we've gotten. Riverboat Ron. Ron Rivera, he'll go for it. but I just believe in this situation, he was wrong.
Skip?
I love this decision by Ron Rivera, and I immediately tweeted that I love the decision. So I obviously didn't play pro football, but I learned pro football from number 1, Bill Walsh, number 2, Jimmy Johnson, number 3, Tom Landry. And it used to be a golden rule in football, long before you even played it, that on the road you go for 2. And in this age of third-level statistics, they'll show you that the percentages are pretty good of making it when you go for 2. So this wasn't about the field goal kicker missing a point or missing a field goal. This was about whose hands are you going to put the ball in? Is there a better two-point conversion maker in the NFL than Cam Newton, in your opinion? Like if you're going to have to give the football to somebody and let somebody make a play and live up to his nickname, which happens to be Superman, I'm going to put the ball in Cam's hands. And to that point, he had thrown for 357 yards.
Correct.
Arguably, he was having his best game of the year. He's had some pretty good ones.
Yep.
And DJ Moore, as we talked about earlier, had caught 7 for 157. So the offense is cooking at a pretty high level. And Cam Newton, as we know, can run with the football and run over people if he needs to get into the end zone to win the football game.
Okay.
So my problem was not with the decision to go for it and live up to your nickname, Riverboat Ron. I think you're actually playing the percentages to let Cam Newton make that play. So then what happened on that play, if we could see it one more time? He's got forever to throw the football. He's got nothing but time, and he waits, and he waits, and he waits. And it surprised me that if he didn't love what he saw, why didn't he just take off?
Yeah.
Just take off and get a little head of steam and see if you can run over a linebacker and get in the end zone, because I have seen him do that before. Maybe bolt to your left, bolt, right? Just bolt.
Like
But here's my argument to you, Skip. Let me ask you a question. So in that situation, they put the ball on the 2-yard line. Is that the way they always put it? So if that's the case, why not go for it every time? You got Cam Superman. Is he only Superman in that situation, or is he always Superman?
You know, there have been those who have proposed that you should go for it every time. Some of those third-level stats guys, the nerds, will say you should go for it every time.
Well,
You'll score more points that way than kicking single points.
They look at it if you miss it the first time and get it the second time, you still no harm, no foul because you're at 14. But I just feel, especially if you go for it too early, Skip, you always have to chase it.
Okay,
you're forever chasing
that's
the
fine.
points.
That's fine. But this is do or die on the road. Road crowd, if you lose the toss and the crowd gets behind you and they go down and score a touchdown, you
But Skip, think about it though. The defense had only given up 20 points at that point. It wasn't like there was there are some games, Skip, where we see Coach Belichick in the famous game when they play in New England, and he goes for it on 4th down in his own territory. He's like, because we can't stop them. Now, they had the lead, but it's like if we punt this ball, they're going to come right back down the field anyway. I get that. That was a 38-35 ball game, something like that. But in a 19-20 ball game, so the defenses had played very well. I'm going to play the percentages. I'm going to kick the field goal. I'm going to trust that my field goal kicker is going to make the PAT, and I'm going to trust Luke Kuechly and those guys to stop them.
Are you saying you don't trust Cam Newton in that situation?
No, well, if I trust him in that situation, I should trust him in all 2-point situations. Every time they score a touchdown, I should trust Cam more than I trust a kicker. That's what you're telling me right now.
What did Dougie P say after the Super Bowl? You got to keep going for it. Am I right?
Skip.
He wrote a book called Fearless.
That was a different situation because, again, Tom Brady had threw him for 505 yards. They were already over 600. He's saying if we punt this ball, we're down. That means they're going to go back down the field because we can't stop them. Tom Brady had gotten his momentum. He had gotten his mojo back. And it's like, no, it's either do or die. But plus, that was a 31-32 ball game. So Dougie P said, nah, bro, we got to go for this. So he ended up going for it. They got the touchdown. They missed the 2-point conversion because they wanted to make a 2-point game, 38-31. They stripped Tom to kick a field goal, 48-33. But, okay, that's a whole different scenario, Skip.
But he ripped Doug Marrone for playing not to lose
What Doug
at
Marrone? Doug Marrone chicken. Doug Marrone chicken.
Chicken. Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hey, did you see yesterday? 16-point lead, start the 4th quarter. Doug Marrone, what did he do? Blake Bortles had 10 completions. Absolute. Did he lie? See, sometimes we get caught up in how he said it. Did he lie? Doug Marrone was scared. Should have bought him a dog.
What did I look up? I don't have the stat right in front of me, but didn't Blake Bortles in the fourth quarter at Foxborough AFC Championship game, didn't he throw like 8 passes in the fourth quarter? It wasn't like they just tried to sit on the lead.
Well, yeah.
20-10, he kept throwing passes.
Yeah, second and 10, second and 12, third and 8. Yeah, of course he's going to throw it. What did he do yesterday in the fourth quarter? He had a 16-point lead, Skip Bayless. That's what the defense spotted Blake Bortles to start the fourth quarter. 16 points. Tell the people what he do at home.
Well, you tell him.
You know. That's your guy. Oh, but see what you do, you turn around, that's the same guy that threw for 378 yards against Bill Belichick.
He did. I think it was 373.
Oh, okay. Well, all he needed yesterday was 273 and they'd have won. And what'd he get?
Well, you told me they were dead in the water and that they had no shot, and they should have won that game.
No, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Not with Blake Bortles. Blake Horribles, nope, not happening.
Cam Newton deserved to have the ball in his hands. Cam Newton just made a bad decision on top of a bad throw.
The ball should have been on Graham Gano's foot. Because under that scenario, what Ron Rivera just shared with us, they should go for it every time.
That's not true.
Why not?
It's road. It's do or die. Okay, put the ball in Superman's hands.
Why not go? So you don't want it in his hand at home? I would think I would want it in his hand at home in front of the home crowd so he can do this. Oh, that's what I want. I mean, that's just me.
Okay, well, you could do it at home or road.
No.
Both.
But why don't they? So I wouldn't even bring my PAT. I wouldn't even bring my kicker out there. So if that's the case, don't you want the ball in Tom Brady's hand? Don't you want the ball in Drew Brees' hand or Pat Mahomes' boys? But what do? They don't go for it. They go for 2 if they have to.
They're only 2 for 5 on 2-point conversions.
Thank you. So what's the percentage of Skip Bayless?
Well, that's this year. I can do your
This
big
year.
picture, and it's much better.
No.
It's 50%. You're 50-50 to make that.
They're not 50%. I don't know about everybody else. I don't worry about them. I'm talking about what are we? What are we in 2018?
I think you're telling me Cam Newton can't get it done.
No. See,
well, seriously.
No.
I'm saying I want the ball in that man's hands.
He done his job. He had gotten them down the field and got them in the end zone. Now it's up to the kicker to do his job.
Okay, when the ball was snapped, what did you think the percentage was of Cam Newton getting the ball across the goal line?
Well, I didn't like it, so I said they should have kicked the field goal, so I thought it was 0.
Okay. 0?
Yeah.
Well, then you have no respect for Cam Newton.
I got the utmost respect, but I also have respect for Graham Gano.
I would have said it was 60-40 Cam gets it across the goal line.
Cam should not have even been in that situation. Just kick the PAT and trust your defense.
Do you think Cam loved it that the coach said, "You're my man"? Yep.
First of all, they gave Cam got a big long contract. They've already said, Cam, you're our guy. Cam, you're the face of this franchise. He got that gold captaincy on his chest. Cam, you're our guy. So I don't need you to call a play. I don't need you to run a play for me to understand that I'm your guy. I know what I am.
Easy 2020 hindsight on the part of the Hall of Fame.
No. I don't do hindsight. Nope.
Yeah,
I'm perfect.
You're great at hindsight.
No, Skip. I first guessed it. Just kick the PAT. It wasn't a 39-38 ball game, Skip.
Way to go, Riverboat.
We're going to move on to what we saw last night. Are the Bears now in control of the NFC North? Unfortunately for me, that might be the case. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
The Bears, they won their 4th straight last night, beating the Vikings 25-20. Chicago's defense was all over Kirk Cousins, sacking him twice, adding a pick 6 in the 4th quarter. Chicago is now 7-3, ahead of the Vikings and Packers in the NFC North. So, Skip, was last night more about the Bears or the Vikings?
Last night was mostly about Kirk Cousins, who right on schedule turned into Kurt Cousins with 2 killer interceptions.
I was afraid you'd say that.
I'm going to say it again. He is the most overrated and overpaid quarterback in pro football history. You cannot trust him, and I, for one, will miss him Thursday at Jerry World because I wish he were still playing for the Redskins because he was 1-6 against my Dallas Cowboys and 0-4 against Dak Prescott. So, what has he done so far? He's gotten your Vikings to 5-4-1. They were very lucky to win one of those games. Well, ended in a tie, actually. But 5-4-1. He's 19 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He'll throw for a lot of yards, but boy, he's throwing a lot of passes. He's second only to Ben Roethlisberger in attempts, but his yards per attempt 20th in the NFL. A whole lot of dinking and dunking going on from Kirk Cousins. And again, do I trust him any more than I do Mitchell Trubisky? I don't really trust Trubisky. I think he'll throw it to you a lot of times in crucial moments also.
He kept the Vikes in the game.
He kept him in the game. So I'm not buying him, but I am buying the Bears defense. I don't think it's the 85 Bears defense.
Not even close.
Because when they backed off a little bit and quit rushing the passer at the end of the game, Cousins started to heat up and light them up. But the point is they are 4th in the league in points allowed, and that's going to keep them in a lot of games, and that's going to keep them in the, to use your term, catbird seat in that division at this point.
Skip, you know I've been one of the staunchest supporters of First Cousins. But I can't defend him on last night. This was about the Vikes. Cousins have to wear this hat. He has to wear this outfit. He was brought into Minnesota to take them to the next level. And he hasn't done that. He was brought into when the running game is stymied. And that's what the really good to great quarterbacks can do, Skip. When you take away the running aspect of a team, they can deliver you. The Big Bens, the Bradys, the Breezes, the Rodgers, they're paying him like that. So they should expect you to perform like that. And he hasn't been able to do it. And see, the thing is that when you have what they had last year was a historically great defense, especially on third down. And so the likelihood of that defense replicating what they did the previous year is not very good. So you're going to need your offense to pick up. Well, they're no better than what they were with Case Keenum, and they're paying $84 million. For what? That's not good enough, Kirk.
And by the way, Case Keenum had a nice win yesterday.
Yeah, I came back.
Against your Chargers.
Old Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, that'll work.
Old Cortland doing good. Skip, he missed a throw early to Diggs. He had Diggs for a touchdown. And who knows the outcome? Because sometimes, Skip, it's a play here or there that breaks the ice. It gives you the confidence. It quiets the crowd. It slows them down. Okay, we got to be careful now. We come with this blitz. He might get us. Well, you miss that throw, they have no incentive to back off. And even with Mac, they don't really have to do a whole lot because he's just running over the left tackle. He's having his way with the left tackle. Akeem Hicks is doing what he wants to do to the guards inside. And so when you have that when you can generate that kind of pass rush, but Skip, I'm very disappointed because I thought Cousins would do a lot better this year. I thought he would be a lot better than what he is because I've seen him make throws in Washington with less talent around him. With the amount of Thielen, Diggs, Rudolph. He's not the Kyle Rudolph of 3 or 4 years ago, but he's more than serviceable at the tight end position. They got Dalvin Cook. So Are
there any two receivers better than Thielen and Diggs?
It's hard for me to.
It's a combo. It's a duo.
Yeah. I mean, people might say, well, I like AB and Juju.
Maybe.
That's comparable.
Sure.
But Skip, they're top 2, top 3 duo in all of football. And for Cousins not to be better, for this team not to be better than what they are right now is unacceptable. And this has to be placed at the feet of Cousins. They gave you 84, put it like this, they gave him basketball and baseball money, which means it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
It ain't if this happens, if the sun rises on October 15th, you get an extra $10 million. No, that contract is fully guaranteed. When they fully guarantee your contract, Skip, they expect you to perform like the top of the tops. The Breezes, the Rodgers, the Bradys. That's what you need to play like on a weekly basis. And they haven't got that. And I hate the next quarterback that when he turns the ball over, he goes over there, he picks up that tablet. What the hell you think it's going to show you? You turned the ball over. You threw that pick. Stop looking at that tablet. I hate when they look at the tablet. I hate when they look at the board. Yeah, you did that. I'm going to break my Boy, I wanted to come down and put butts in Cousins the way he played last night.
So you're jumping off that bandwagon?
Oh, well.
I want to put Skip. That's unacceptable. I mean, Mitchell, like you said, we look at the game, 25-20. That game should have been, Skip, that should have been a 30-10, a 35-10 ball game. Trubisky, every time Minnesota like, we don't want it. Cousins like, here, take it. We don't want it. We done. It's cold out here.
Yeah, we're
and
out.
Mitchell's like,
No,
come on back. Come on back in. No. This is not acceptable. This is not good enough. Because, Green Bay is having a down year. Detroit, I don't know what they got going. They won yesterday, but they hadn't been, with the exception of that big win they got against the Patriots, they have underachieved. Matthew Stafford, for the better part of his career, has underachieved. So this division still, Skip, is right there for the taking. and Cousins at $84 million guaranteed. This is unacceptable play. Unacceptable.
So if Mitchell Trubisky wins the division, do I think he can win a playoff game?
No.
I do not. Do I like him when he's running with the football more than when he's throwing? I do, which I didn't see coming when I watched him at North Carolina, but he is leading the league in rushing for quarterbacks with 9 yards more than Cam Newton has.
But you know what, Skip? They could possibly, because what they can do defensively is that they can take the ball away and they can turn it into points. So you get into the playoffs, Skip, you know your defense, you know, you get a turnover and you get a scoop and score, or you get a pick six. And that guy 5'2", right now he's unblockable. And then you put Akeem Hicks on the other side, and he's going to collapse the pocket from inside. So he's going to force you one way or another. Now, if they can get a little bit more pass rushing consistently out of Florida on the other side, they might be in business. But Khalil Mack is unblockable right now.
So was Akeem Hicks last night.
Oh, man, he was doing
wow.
it.
Blasting the middle of the line,
And then
blowing it up.
And Eddie Jackson. You see old Eddie Jackson from Alabama? Oh, Alabama, they loaded.
DB.
A
DB from Alabama is doing something?
The safeties are
Because
really
usually
good.
those Nick Saban products, those DBs,
The
he
safety,
coaches. I know.
Landon Collins,
Okay, he's
Minka
pretty good.
Fitzpatrick, Eddie Jack.
So far.
Woo! And you know they keep a D-line. Seattle got a bunch of them, D-linemen. So does the Reds, Washington. They got a bunch of. Oh, St. Nick.
I know, but he coaches the secondary.
He coaches defense.
He coaches the secondary.
Don't do that, Skip.
That's what they say.
He got his arm around all of it. And he don't love him anymore. You're just like kids. When you got kids, you love them all the same.
Really?
He love the DB, the linebacker, the D-line. He got his arm around all of
Well,
them.
as long as you're playing the Citadel every Saturday,
Don't
you're
do
good.
it.
You're
Okay,
good.
what about LSU?
You can do that.
What about that? What about we blanked LSU?
Yeah, what about it?
Blanked them.
Yeah.
Who laid that hammer down on Georgia. But we'll deal with them in a couple of weeks in the Georgia Dome. Oh, St. Nick, he break that stormtrooper up from Birmingham. You know, they got to travel east to come to Birmingham, come up to Atlanta.
Halftime score, Alabama 10, Citadel 10.
I know. I looked at that. I was like, wait, what?
And what Coach Saban says, it's like, we have to play better, we'll play better. And then guess what happened? 33 unanswered, boom, Tua. Skip, what are we going to do about that 31-2? 31 tubs and 2 picks. The man is throwing one pass. Skip, we 10 games deep. He's throwing one pass in the fourth quarter. Let that sink in. I want everybody at home to understand this. Tua Tagovailoa has attempted one pass in the fourth quarter.
Kyler Murray has to throw a whole bunch of fourth quarter passes because he's got a horrendous defense.
And he got way more picks and only a handful of touchdowns. Man, just think if Tua had as many plays as Kyler Murray, how many touchdowns would he have? 50? He might be 50-2 right now.
Tua's got the best defense, the best running back, the best receiving.
Don't do that, Skip.
I don't know how you can.
Don't do that, Skip.
Wow.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's easy.
Well, look, have y'all lost the game?
Who's y'all? I don't know.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
Okay, then. They lost to Texas. Lost to Texas.
Wow.
And did they lose to Cincinnati? Who just got the doors blown off them by UFC? Huh? And you want to talk about me like Coach Saban and Tua, OTT? Going to get him now. They carved his name on it right now.
Okay.
You know, like they do, Skip, at the British Open, they start carving your name.
They haven't yet. They haven't yet. We haven't made that decision, Shannon. All right, since you guys are talking about the Heisman, how about a former?
Here we go.
Lamar Jackson. Is he going to be the next Michael Vick? Good thing we've got Michael here, and we're going to talk to him about it next.
No mercy.
How about yesterday? Lamar Jackson made his first career start. He threw for 150 yards and rushed 27 times, which is the most by a quarterback in the Super Bowl era. Lamar got the start since Joe Flacco has a hip injury, and he helped the Ravens beat the Bengals. Let's take a listen to John Harbaugh and Lamar after the game.
I think I stayed up all night last night. I was like, man, we need to play right now. I was ready to play last night. And, 1 o'clock came, I'm like, let's go time.
Do you think your body can sustain that much pounding?
Yeah.
Week in, week out?
Yeah, but hopefully I don't got to use it like that. Just sit back and throw the ball.
I think that's what Lamar felt like it took today, and I don't believe it's going to take that many carries every week. It's not what we're going to be shooting for by any stretch. But if it takes that many, Lamar will do it.
We're now joined by Fox NFL analyst Michael Vick, who also has the most rushing yards by a quarterback in NFL history. So it's perfect to have you join us today.
Yep.
Yeah, it was perfect. Perfect timing.
When you look at what we saw from Lamar yesterday, can he succeed as a quarterback if he is running that much?
I don't think so. Definitely not 27 rushes in a game.
Yeah.
And 3 of them was kneel down, so initially it was 24. But I think for Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens yesterday, they did it just enough to win that game. And for whatever it was required to win the game, they did it. I thought the game plan was centered around a bevy of runs, run-pass options, didn't pass the ball that much. And when he did, he was somewhat accurate at times, and sometimes he wasn't.
Yep.
But this is what they have to do right now. Come next season in spring, if it comes to it, he'll get most of the reps in OTAs and training camp, and he'll be a much polished passer. But for the duration of your career and longevity, you cannot run the ball 27 times in a game. I think the most I've ran was 12 to 15 in the game. So in the 2-game span, I couldn't even match that.
Yeah.
And the thing is just being efficient with it, protecting yourself, because the key to playing in the NFL long term is being accountable on the field. So 24 rushes won't suffice. Narrow that down to about 12 to 13 and make them efficient runs and just run instinctively. And hopefully they aren't always design runs.
Go ahead.
By the way, did you sleep before your first start in Atlanta? Do you remember? Can you remember
you know
that?
what? I don't think I did.
Yep.
I was in the
Really?
same situation that Lamar was in as far as the butterflies and wanting to know what it was going to be like. And Lamar and I talked about that a lot last year.
Did you?
Prior to coming out, just him, what the game would be like, what it would feel like. Didn't know it would end up like that, as far as 27 rushes. But nevertheless, it was a good win and a good start for him.
It was.
He have to be pleased with this performance.
How much do you think running as much as you did early hurt you on the back end of your career? Do you think you
I
could
think
have got
it hurt a lot. I think it hurt to a point where my body couldn't sustain at the end, where mentally I could do it. And, as players, we never think we're going to go through that phase where you'll start to feel like, look, the game is starting to take a toll on me. And year 12, 13, I was like, man, you know what? I wish I would have cut back on some of those rushes that I had early in my career, because sometimes I just went hard at it. And, it's cool when you're on your 4th, 5th, 6th year and your body can sustain it, but as you get older, the father time will catch up with you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Skip. We was watching that video of Mike. Yeah, I don't think Lamar could outrun Mike.
You don't?
No.
Bring that up.
Wait,
we got to no.
What do you think?
I mean, you're going to hear it straight from me. No, I don't think there's been a quarterback in the National Football League that can outrun me, hands down.
Because I was watching yesterday, and I watched all the Michael Vick experience in Atlanta, and it was an experience. But to my eye, he looks a tick faster, straight line with the ball under his arm. Straight line when he hits a crease and hits top speed like boom.
Yeah, see, I was more of a
you were
shifty,
side to
Barry
side.
Sanders type.
Dude, how you split the scene? You just split the scene in the overtime against the Vikes.
That was the only time I didn't get caught. And that was because I was running at an angle.
Right.
So straight line speed, Skip is right. I always got walked down, always got caught.
You run so fast, you be stumbling. You
start
stumbling.
I don't know. I think one of my legs is longer or shorter than the other. Something.
Now, open field, make you miss? Never. I mean, you're in Barry Sanders' category, and I would put nobody except Michael Vick in that category where you are unstoppable if you get somebody.
Between the hashes.
Yeah. One defender in the open field, no shot, no way.
I agree with you, Mike. I just don't think, his body cannot suffice. You don't want running backs really carrying the ball 27 times a game over the duration. And he's not built like that, Skip. I mean, you think he's what, 210, 215?
Yeah.
He's probably 215 now. Probably went to camp at about 220. But once you
know
start.
What? He's got lean strength to him, though.
Yeah, but Skip,
He's got a
though.
smaller frame.
Yeah.
Similar to when I met RG3 for the first time.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
His frame, and I felt like, he's really going to have to lift weights and bulk up and make sure that he's prepared to take the pounding, because I knew what type of game he was going to play. Okay. Same message I'll send to Lamar over the next couple of weeks, man. If you're going to play this type of game, you got to bulk up and you got to be ready for it.
Okay. But Lamar was born with that self-preservation gene that RG3 definitely never had, that you had some of but not enough of early, because you just thought, man, I can do this.
Right.
And you wanted to run through walls to get your team the win. And if you had to, you would take somebody on.
For sure.
And you paid for it in Philadelphia because it was your body's starting to wear out where it just can't take any more punishment. But this kid, even at Louisville, he would protect himself beautifully. Like he'll slide or he will avoid in ways like Robert. Robert couldn't even slide, and I don't know why. They tried. They even brought in some of the Washington Nationals to try to teach him to slide.
Right.
He just couldn't figure out how to.
Pendleton one year.
I know. Yeah, but you just got to put one foot in front of the other and just get down.
But Skip, when you run so fast, Skip, it's hard to slide. You trying to slide, and the next thing you know, you rolling over like a ball.
Shannon, it don't matter. You got to learn to slide in the National Football League, and I didn't learn to be cognizant about it until later on in my career. Early, it was just like just go and get the yards however you can get it. But the one thing I can say about this situation and the positive that we can take away from it is Marty Mornhinweg will continue to help him grow in the passing game. Find that balance is what Lamar has to do, and then he'll be a much better quarterback, and all the running will probably settle down.
What do you see in him as a thrower?
I think he needs work.
Yeah.
I think he needs a lot of work. I was thinking about this early this morning and just the comparisons to a guy like Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson in this rookie season where, he was very efficient in the passing game and he looked polished coming out of Clemson. I thought he did a great job at Louisville. It was a lot of intermediate routes, a lot of crossing routes, but in the NFL, you have to be very diverse throwing the football all across the field. So it's a lot of work that he needs to do. Hopefully we can get some practice in, we can get some workout in.
Right. Are you going to go help
in the off season for sure? Yeah.
Because it looks a little awkward, the delivery, but the ball comes out with some velocity, and when he gets in a rhythm, he can be a decent passer in this league.
It's going to take work for him,
right?
Because you have to stretch the field. You can't win games just running a ton of different formations and
intermediate routes, thinking and dunking the ball.
Intermediate routes. You have to open it up, and the game plan has to somewhat become complex.
So even if Joe Flacco comes back healthy, you stick with Lamar?
I say you go back to Joe Flacco. Lamar got some experience. Hopefully he can win another game. We'll see him maybe 2 or 3 games. And then you go back to Joe Flacco, let him finish it out, see what the outcome is.
Because Joe, I don't think, and Skip and I think we're in agreement on this, Skip. I don't think Joe's going to be there. So I think you need
for the long
term. I don't think Joe will be there next year.
Yeah,
and I think Lamar's going to be the guy, and so you need to get him as much playing time and experience as you possibly can.
Yeah, depending on how Joe finishes out the season, that'll determine if he'll be there or not. If not, the people within this organization has to be looking forward to the spring, getting Lamar ready and getting him ready to go for the 2019 season.
So here's my issue with Joe Flacco. He has extraordinary postseason numbers. They're just like all-time. 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 10 wins to only 5 losses, a Super Bowl championship. Off that, he became the highest-paid player in pro football. And in those 6 years since that Super Bowl, they have missed the playoffs 5 or 6 times. He's the classic postseason player who can't get it done regularly in the regular season, right?
Yeah, and you can't get to the postseason if you can't play in the regular season. So, obviously there's an issue. I've always been a Joe Flacco fan, but I just feel like, week 6, 7, 8 of every season, it's always just a dive that they take, and then they got to dig themselves out of a hole late in the season. And, after a while, we get tired of looking at that when we know what the game is supposed to look like. And look, I'm an advocate of his. I just don't know.
So I thought if they would start Lamar from the start this year, that team with that defense would rally around him and be ignited, be inspired by his playmaking. It's not the greatest throwing playmaking, but that he could make enough plays. He's poised. He doesn't crumble. He doesn't come apart under fire. And that was a big fire he got thrown into yesterday. And the best thing about him yesterday was he kept his comfort zone the whole game. He stayed within himself. I didn't see him try to do crazy things, running or passing.
That was big. And even for Lamar, I think, when you take into account his rushing ability and then the way he'll be able to pass at some point, this guy will be able to control the clock and help the defense out, keep them off the field, keep them fresh, ready to go. So when they go out, they can get after the quarterback, or they can make the plays, get 3 and outs. So it's a lot of great things that came out of this situation.
That's why I keep
bunch of positives.
That's why I keep him in the ball game, because nothing prepares you to play in games like playing in the game.
Absolute experience.
Look, I'm not saying he is Hall of Fame bound. I'm just saying he can be a pretty good quarterback.
Okay, it's a good start.
Yeah.
All right, Michael Vick's going to stick around and help us with this next one. What is wrong with the Eagles? We'll discuss that all next.
No mercy.
Well, the NFC East is up for grabs after the Redskins lost by 2 to the Texans yesterday and lost Alex Smith for the year. The Cowboys are only a game back after a close win against the Falcons. They'll host the Redskins on Thanksgiving. And then there's the Eagles, who were blown out yesterday by the Saints and are sitting at 4-6. We're joined once again by Michael Vick. So, Michael, how much of a shot do you give the Eagles to win the division?
Well, I mean, I give them a shot to win. I mean, it's a couple teams it's one team in that division who has really turned up, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. And I know Skip.
Turn it up, Shannon.
That.
Oh, they you
Yeah.
And, you know, over the course of a season, some teams get hot, teams get cold, and that's just the way it is. But I think for the Philadelphia Eagles, the stretch of the Cowboys, Rams, and Texas in a couple of weeks, that'll be the deciding factor for their season. And they got to find ways to clean up the issues. I think yesterday they started out flat. Either the New Orleans Saints was really, really good or the Philadelphia Eagles is just that bad.
Yep.
And that was tough to watch. It was really, really tough to watch. But in order for them to win this division, they're going to have to win some key games. And Carson Wentz can't continue to be a shell of himself.
That is correct.
He's going to have to find his game. And it's not the easiest thing. It's very frustrating to watch because when you think about his 2017 campaign, things was just clicking on all cylinders. He was a totally different quarterback than what we see now. So I think about what's the difference between this year and last year. Obviously injuries, the run game is not there.
Right.
And it's a bunch of things that has to be cleaned up.
Shannon, Michael Vick just called Carson Wentz a shell of himself. Accurately, I might add.
He did.
He
did.
I'm looking at, the next two games they have home. They have 3 home games, 3 road games. The next 2 games are going to be very crucial. They need to be 2-0. And they need to go into Dallas, win that game 3-0, and they leave tied.
Good luck on that one. Go ahead.
They need to be, over the next 6 games, somehow, they got to find a way to get to 5 wins. They got to get to 5 wins.
You betting on that?
Yep. I believe Dougie P, he'll have this team right. Carson Wentz is made of the right stuff. The Cowboys have 6 games left. They have 4 of those games at home. And only 2 on the road. I trust the Eagles more than I trust the Cowboys.
You are not serious about that.
But
I don't believe
Skip,
you. I don't believe you.
I just told you, you guys are in the driver's seat. But the thing about you guys being in the driver's seat, you have a learner's permit. So I don't really trust you guys to go it alone. There have to be an adult in the car. When someone has a learner's permit, there has to be an adult in the car that have a driver's permit. So consider that being said, who on your team know what that like?
Ezekiel Elliott got the driver's permit.
They'll have this kind of pressure on them, heaped upon them. Because this ain't like it was in 2016, Skip. Y'all have blown the division away. You had this thing wrapped up real early. Not every game is playoff. You like that kind of pressure, Skip?
I like the bet that you made with me 1 week ago today, in which you put 3 cases on the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East. Would you like to make it 4?
Nope.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, I'm good because the Eagles that I am watching, that I watched yesterday, are the classic Super Bowl champion who lost its mojo and its momentum and its confidence and its way. It just lost its way. In large part because everything that went right last year is starting to go wrong this year, as classically happens. You were pretty lucky after your Super Bowl repeat teams were pretty good, right? Okay, but in this case, the secondary is now just ravaged by injuries. It's like embarrassing.
Yeah.
You're right?
Playing backups to backups.
Yeah.
Backups to
Guys
backups.
continue to go down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and you're still confident that they're going to pull this off?
I have faith in number 11.
Okay, I don't, but I never have. And again, he became very dependent upon that tight end, and that tight end is really good, that number 86.
Well, your guys depended on Zeke.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Stop
When Zeke gets them, you know how you win. When Zeke gets his touches, good things happen. When he doesn't, bad things happen.
I've noticed that.
Well, your guy, to me, throws it to 86 or bust. And yesterday, Sean, and by the way, 86, Zach Ertz came into the game having the 5th most targets in football, and everybody above him is like Jarvis Landry, Odell, Julio. Those wide receivers. And he was a security blanket for Carson Wentz. Sean Payton yesterday, for the first time, some coach stepped up and said, you can't have him anymore So he got to throw him 3 balls yesterday, and Zach Ertz caught 2 for 15 yards and was no factor in the football game because they were probably tripling him. You know, they probably just said no.
I thought Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator of the Saints, who's a very good defensive coordinator, he might not be a good head coach
I
because
agree.
he's at the Raiders. But as a defensive mind, Skip, he's really good.
New Orleans is not great on defense as far as being stable, but they can take the ball away and they will make plays at key moments.
Especially in that dome where it's a tough place to play.
Crazy.
But the Philadelphia Eagles are going to make a run, and it has to happen soon. It's going to have to be in the hands of Carson Wentz.
So Carson Wentz, when he throws to his wideouts, he is wild high and wild low. He is inaccurate throwing to them, but he's always accurate throwing to 86. So if you can take 86 away, he's got issues. And he cannot rely on LeGarrette and Ajayi as he did last year.
We'll get those issues resolved. We'll clean that up. Hey, work on some things, get a little kinks out.
Opposition from next week going to be watching that film, and hopefully they don't take that blueprint from the New Orleans Saints because it will be ugly.
All of a sudden, the Giants are catching a little fire.
Oh, now you like Eli.
Now Eli's reverting to his Tom Brady years, right?
Oh,
when
boy.
he beat Brady. I don't know.
Eli's had 10 good snaps.
You think so, really?
They could put the Eagles out of their misery.
Oh, that's what you hoping. So now you're
that's going to be a very competitive game.
Now you a Giants
It's going to be a good
fan.
game.
You know what? You be flip-flopping. Now you
I'm not flip-flopping.
Oh, the Giants can put them out there. You've been saying nothing bad. You don't. Eli's done. You want them to trade Odell. Now you rooting for the Giants.
You know, Skip on my Philadelphia Eagles dug in the hole right now.
So the team I fear the most is the Washington Redskins.
Hey, you don't fear the
That
Washington.
team has guts.
Colt
It has
McCoy?
grit. It has backbone. It has fight in it. Even with Colt
Yeah,
McCoy.
you know what?
Colt McCoy has been there and done all that.
I would like Washington if this was a Western. And then old Colt McCoy coming in to save the day, that would be good. But this is NFL football. And Colt ain't going to happen.
McCoy had a couple pretty good preseasons, man, back-to-back years. So I don't know how that'll translate into the regular season,
This
but
man
it makes
said
it
preseason.
You
We
know
ain't
what?
talking about the game. We talking about
It's
preseason.
really getting interesting right now.
Once upon a time, October 27th of 2014, Colt McCoy beat my Cowboys at Jerry World on Monday Night Football, 20-17 in overtime, and he lit them up. And we got to get even for that game, and we got to get even for the game that was stolen from us in Washington about a month ago
stolen.
on a false start by the snapper.
Move the ball.
What?
Man, you go back
That's
to 2014.
outrageous.
Skip, you go back to 2014. At one point in time, Colt McCoy had Texas in the national championship
He
game.
did.
Okay,
Then he got
come on.
hurt.
Yeah.
Or Nick would have lost that
Oh,
championship.
he should have stayed in the game. So we could have hit that other shoulder.
Yep.
That was the first of many.
The other thing about my Cowboys is they have not come close to peaking yet. They're still.
How you know?
Getting
How do you know?
They're finding a rhythm. That's
I
what
like the
Zeke
way
said.
they're using the guys that they have on the field.
I
think
agree.
Amari Cooper was probably the best free agent acquisition.
Thank you.
of the
Thank
season.
you.
Yeah,
Michael.
Great acquisition.
Yeah.
On that note, we will wrap it up.
Shell
Thank
of
you for
self.
being here. We've got a huge game here in LA tonight. Skip Shannon, they're going to make their picks next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. We've got a huge game tonight between the Chiefs and Rams, both teams 9-1. The game was supposed to be played in Mexico City, but got moved to LA last week. So Shannon, who you got? Who wins tonight?
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Shocking.
I think they have just a slightly better defense. The over-under, Skip, is 63.5 points.
Wait, you think the Chiefs have a slightly better defense than the Rams?
I do.
Wow.
I do. Because I think with Justin Houston's return, and now D Ford on one side, Justin on the other side, Chris Jones in the middle. Now, Aaron Donald is a hell wrecker. He's in a class by himself, not to be messed with. You know, only in the case of emergency should you bother him.
Sue, Fowler.
Yeah, but I mean, Sue's made some plays. He's not been as dominant as I thought he would, especially playing next to Aaron Donald. The defenses both leave a lot to desire. They're going to be a lot of points. I believe both teams will get in the 30s. That's why Vegas set the over/under so high at 63.5 points. But I'm going to take the Chiefs. I just believe my homeboy will come through for me with about 4
I think you're on that bandwagon and you're driving it toward MVP and you dug in and you're going to lose because this is a huge MVP statement game.
Sure.
A big stage statement game for Patrick Mahomes because Drew Brees just keeps laying down those face cards, right?
Yeah.
It's time to call him and match him, and I just don't know if the kid's going to have it in him.
He got it in him.
I like the Rams offense against the Kansas City defense more than I like Mahomes offense against the Rams defense. So I think it'll be fairly high scoring. I'm going to go 34-27 home team.
No, it's going to be more points than that. It's going to be the over, yeah. I'm going to say 30. I'm going to go 38-35.
38-35.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
Got some
It
good
could be
games.
it could be a 40-plus point game.
Well, then Mahomes will edge back into the MVP league.
Hey, no, yeah, what you be edge?
Yeah.
He ain't
We'll
never
see
gave it
that
up.
tonight.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.